Fam, you wouldn't show up to your game unprepared, so why you still wilding out down there? That's why I had to collab with Manscaped. It's all about precision, confidence, and staying ready for whatever's coming your way, if you get what I mean. When you feel clean, you move different. And on the Courtnee Edgar show, we keep it real, we keep it sharp, focused, and ready for anything. Now, I ain't gonna steer you wrong, so you gotta make sure you hit the link below. The link is gonna be in the description as well as pinned in the chat. And look, get your Manscaped kit right now and stop showing up to life unprepared. Now let's get into it. Welcome to the Courtnee Edgar Show. High maintenance, I got enough hands for you. I know I like a little attitude. All night service, nothing like her. I don't take it personal. Oh, I should have. It ain't 5 a.m. But people change the game and back. I come out to give it. Cause you're not my girl, but you still my muse. Don't that mean mine on the own, spend it on you. You're not my girl, but you still my muse. This don't be my number one, not number two. My muse. Ha, 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 ha. My muse. Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? Welcome to another show, one of the dopest shows on YouTube where we talk about everything under the sun. As long as we get back to the money, real conversations, and real solutions. I'm your host, Courtnee Edgar. Now, typically speaking, y'all know I typically do my live streams at night, but I got some prearranged plans already for later tonight. But like I said, I'm always going to show up on the days that I say I'm going to show up. So here we are, but we just doing it earlier today. You feel me? All right, so we got some topics to cover today. We got a lot of topics to cover today. But before we get there, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification. Also, I have a goal that we're trying to achieve today. So I'm gonna need y'all help on that aspect of it. Again, it's not expected, but it's definitely appreciated. So I put the goal up there for those people who want to support the channel, who want to see the channel grow, and we build and grow over time. All right, got it? Cool. Also, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Got a lot of good value in there. There's a ton of good things in there. I'm supposed to be having another video coming up this week. Another Patreon video. Not sure yet what it's gonna be. It's either gonna be about sponsorships, or it's gonna be more so about the back end things of the social media world and the things to look out for when you're doing your content creation. So definitely want to tap into the Patreon. Ton of value there. All right, so let's get to it, bro. I want to go ahead and get into it because, like I said, we got a lot of things to cover. Let's start with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She back in the media again. She went on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and she was talking a lot of different things. And one of the things that kind of stood out for me is black men who don't like black women tend to have mommy issues. So we gonna listen to her, and then we will give our thoughts and opinions on that. All right. So let's go ahead and rock out.
A man who says, I am turned off and do not like black women, so I date non-Black woman,
Right.
he has mommy issues.
Okay.
He has an identity crisis because you came from the woman you're saying you dislike. So now we have a deeper rooted issue. I'm not saying that a brother who only dates outside a Black woman cannot also have mommy issues. But if that's just his preference, then that's different than saying, I don't date because my experience was bad. I don't date because I don't like the way Black women show up. I don't date because I don't like the way Black women are strong or they talk too much. And I'm not saying those things ain't true for a lot of us, okay?
Yes.
But what I'm saying is everyone has the right to have their preference. But I do believe that people need to look deep down and say, why is that your preference? Take inventory on that. I know my preference of a man with no kids is because growing up as a little girl, I had to share my father with 6 other siblings.
You want undivided attention.
And I'm not sharing another man in my life.
Damn.
And I'm also not going to put my children in a position to have to share their father with anybody else at all. And I'm going to go even deeper.
What?
When my father passed away, which I'm happy my dad did, it so perfect, right? His life insurance went split up amongst his babies.
Yeah.
Now, I love that because I love my babies. I'm the oldest of 7. Those are all my babies.
Right.
Okay. And if he would have gave it all to me, I would have split it with everybody anyway.
Right.
But I'm happy he did it on his own. But my point in saying that is when a man or a woman gets with somebody who has other offsprings and kids, you have to not only think about the relationship presently, but also in the exit strategy. So my kids do have to split things. My kids are being born into a deficit because guess what? You won't be able to be present every day with my child if you are going to be a father to those children. And when Christmas comes or holidays come or school comes or God forbid something happens to your other children, like an emergency, what if our kids have an emergency at the same time? Who do you choose? What happens? Do I show up as a single mother in that moment because dad has to be here? How do I explain that to our babies?
I understand the sentiment, right? And I definitely agree with the aspect of, yeah, you don't need to be making babies over there while you got a kid and a family over here. I 110% understand that. But considering the type of woman that you are, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, you want a man that's on his level. You want a man that's a high value, high functioning man. So that means this high value, high functioning man still probably not going to be as much around as you think he is going to be, right? Because you are selfish, and rightfully so. You are selfish. I get that. But I want to touch back on her first statement. Real quick. In regards to if a man dates outside of his race because he came out of a Black woman. What is up with Black women using that as a reason as to why, or the internal deepness of why a man dates outside of his race? Well, your mom is Black and you came out of her, so what? That's my mom, bro. I don't look at my mom the same way I will look at a chick that I'm busting down. That's not the same thing. It is not. It does not work like that. I need y'all to get out of that mind frame. I don't look at that the same. I don't. That's just like saying, yo, you came out of your daddy's balls, so all of your best friends, all of your best male friends should be Black. You see how stupid that sounds? You see how dumb that sounds? So you got to stop using it. You have to stop using that. All right? So let's move on.
And why do I have to? And I won't have to if I choose a man who I know can be present, because being present is being in my house, in our children's home, taking them to school, waking up in the morning, them seeing you with the good morning, our son being able to watch how you process your emotions as a man, watch how you interact with me as a man, watch how you sit with your legs like that, watch how when the game is on, you sit and watch it in a certain statue, watch how you yell at the TV the way you do what you do. I yell at the TV when I watch football, and I am a football head because my grandfather and my father were football men. So we would sit and watch football nonstop. I'm calling pick six all day. I'm calling flag on the play. PI, come on, ref. That's me.
Right.
Other women don't watch it like that.
Correct.
Because how did I learn it? By watching the men in my house. By being the only girl for so long.
Kids are very observant.
So my thing is, and I'll wrap on this, is it's not that people with kids, multiple folks, are doomed. It's a different way that they have to parent.
Okay.
And whether you parent perfectly, not perfectly, but you parent at your best or not, those kids are still going to be in a deficit. And I want to say this part too, because a present parent can also present trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to make it seem like because if you're in the household, you're not presenting trauma.
Right.
Because it's also sometimes a parent or a couple that decides not being together will create a more peaceful, healthy environment for the kids and us is the better decision.
Yes.
So I'm not condoning or advocating for people to stay together in traumatized out, dysfunctional, abusive relationships where they're creating now not just a broken home, but a broken family, because they're two different things.
Well, make sure you really define what that dysfunctioning is, because a lot of y'all use that as a broad blanket term, a blanket phrase, and you're not really expounding on what it actually means to be in a trauma-filled relationship. So just to give a little context behind that, and this is coming from me in this aspect, putting your hands on each other, that's a huge no-no. If a man puts his hands on a woman, yes, that is rights to leave the house. I understand that. If there's a sense where you guys cannot communicate effectively, so you're literally, like y'all like to use, verbally abusing each other, you're coming at each other heavily, you talking shit about each other, you're talking down about each other in front of the children, you're yelling, you're screaming, you're going above and beyond, talking down to the man, and he's talking down to you. That's a toxic environment. Anything else outside of that, that can be fixed. I 110% believe it can be fixed. And also putting your hands on the kids. Of course, you don't put your hands on the kids at all. Only if you sparing the rod on their behind. That's it. Other than that, don't put your hands on that kid for what reason. You ain't got no reason to put your hands on them. There's so many different ways of disciplining the kid. Physical activity, spare the rod on the behind only. And yeah, having a conversation, sitting down, having a talk with them, or taking away certain things, or you can do all three. Right? So yes, there are some non-negotiables in a situation that you just got to get up out of there and those are the things that I named. Everything else, it can be worked on. Everything else, you can sit down and have a conversation. Everything else can be fixed. That's 110%. You just got to get out of your own way. Simple as that.
Things, right? I'm saying you got to do what's best. But if you make decisions at the very beginning that are good, then you are able to date better, marry better, parent better, and you do get kids, even if they choose to detour off, like the Bible says, who have the tools to be better. And that's all that I'm pushing for our community. I'm not pushing that people who are baby mamas or baby daddies to beat themselves up and say they're doomed. That's not what it is. But what I am saying, damn it, is now today, make a better decision.
Right.
Do something different. Show your kids that there's a different way to do it. And, let's teach folks to get out there and figure out the sense of self, so our divorce rate isn't so high. Mm-hmm. And let's figure out, Shannon, how we can do more than just make good love and have a drink together. Like, how come we can't have better conversations together? We don't have to be romantic to have good, intellectual, emotionally intelligent conversations. We don't have to have gender wars. Because
I agree. I 110% agree with that aspect. Yeah. But I also understand what's good with it, my boy. What's good with it? I also do understand that there are a lot of conversations that have to be had up front, though. See, that's the problem. You're right. A lot of people think it's just about, we're going to have a couple of drinks. We going to laugh, ha, keying it up. And after that, we go bust it down. That's it. But you have yet to have the hard conversations up front. And so now you thinking just because this guy or this woman said a bunch of sweet nothings to you, and that's it. Now, I really rock with this person. They chill, they lay back, but you don't know what kind of trauma they done been through. You don't know who they done dealt with before. You don't know what their past is like. You don't know what their relationship is with their parents or their family. You don't know what their goals are in life. You don't know if they want to have a family in life. You don't know how they respond to situations when it's a situation where you're backed up against the wall. You don't know how they respond to them. You don't know when there's a discussion going on and there's a disagreement, you don't know if they're the ones that pop their lid off and they go off the top, or they're real calm and collected in the conversation. They hear you out, then they can respond effectively. Or like all of these different things that y'all do not talk about. But y'all so quick to jump into these relationships. Now all of a sudden, oh, because y'all hear it all the time. Oh, everybody changed when it first started. I was, I didn't know he was like this. He was telling me all of this, and you believed it. And you believed it. You didn't ask no questions. You didn't ask probing questions. You didn't ask the hard questions at all. He didn't switch up on you. You just failed to see the red flags. I seen a video the other day, and there's a shorty. She was saying the same exact thing. She said, man, I literally was dating this guy. Matter of fact, I might be able to find it. I was dating this guy. She said they were friends for a while. Then they decided to start dating. They were friends for like 6 months or so, 6 to 9 months. She already saw the red flags in him, but she still decided to start dating this man because she thought that, you know what, maybe it might change. With the hopes, not the potential, with the hope that it would change. And it never did. So 3 months into the relationship, she had to dip. And this is what a lot of women do on the bigger scale. You're with this man for years on, with this hope that he's going to change, knowing damn well he already presented who he actually was up front, but you decided to ignore because he was giving you some of that good D, pause. And now you stuck, and now you up here blaming men, talking about, oh, well, these men ain't shit. These men be manipulating us. I don't want to hear that. They show the red flags up front. You just choose to still deal with these niggas. That's a fact. Bro, let's watch this lady lie together.
We don't agree on it.
For real, bro. That's what it is, bro. That's what it is. That's Dr. Cheyenne Bryan. That's Dr. Cheyenne Bryan for you. But on this clip only, she made some valid points. I would give her that. Because typically she be off the rocker. A couple of them she made some good points. The only point that one of the main points that I disagree with is the first part. So I'll rewind the best so you can hear it.
A man who says, I am turned off and do not like Black women, so I date non-Black women.
Right.
He has mommy issues.
That part right there, I disagree with that. I disagree. But let me let her cook a little more.
Okay. He has an identity crisis because you came from the woman you're saying you dislike. So now we have a deeper rooted issue. I'm not saying that a brother who only dates outside of Black women cannot also have mommy issues. But if that's just his preference, then that's different than saying, I don't date because my experience was bad. I don't date because I don't like the way Black women show up. I don't date because I don't like the way Black women are strong or they talk too much. And I'm not saying those things ain't true for a lot of us, okay? Yes. But what I'm saying is everyone has the right to have their preference. But I do believe that people need to look deep down and say, why is that your preference?
Because that's probably, it could be proximity. It can be because the way that they actually move. Or it could have been the actual experience of him trying to date these said women, and that's what he was getting. He's like, listen, bro, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of going to places where I'm tolerated. I want to go where I'm celebrated. So he may seem to get more traction in the white community, or in the Hispanic community, or in the Asian community, or Korean community, or whatever the case may be, wherever he is celebrated at, that's where he gonna be at. Let him rock out. It's all this deep internal bullshit that y'all be talking about today. It ain't even that deep sometimes. Let's keep it a buck. Men are really simple. We really are. It ain't that deep, bro. It's really not. Like, listen, man. If you live in a certain area, like, man, I promise you, bro, everywhere I go, I'm always seeing these ratchet bitches, bro. I swear to God. And ratchet bitches, again, I always say this. Ratchet does not subject to the Black community only. That could be the white community, black community, Asian community, Hispanic community, all of that shit ratchet. There's ratchet people in every single race. So I'm not subjecting this to Black people, right? But being in certain areas, like, man, I'm tired of these goofy ass, ratchet ass bitches over here, bro. They ain't about shit. These hoes toxic as fuck. They up here, they ain't shit over here, bro. Where are the women that, the wholesome women who about they shit, who about family, who about relationships, who really ain't out here on no bullshit, bro, who out of the mix? Where they at? So when they find these women, they go over there and they realizing that these women are receptive to him. So he's like, shit, I like it over here. Like, I don't got to do all that extra shit over there. They ain't telling me I need to pay $500 just to get their phone number. They ain't telling me that I need to take them to whatever expensive restaurant out of the state 44, when you talk about Arizona, some shit like that. Like, bro, I'm in my area. These people are celebrating me. It's like I got a plethora of them, nigga. It's an abundance of them over here, and they rocking out with me. So I'm gonna stay over here because I'm celebrated over here. Because if I go over there, they only gonna tolerate me, if that. So no, it's not that deep-rooted issue talking about your mama and shit. Like, bro, my mama ain't got nothing to do with this. My mama ain't got nothing to do with this. My mama living her own fucking life. She got her own shit going on. It ain't got shit to do with me, bro. So I hate when women do that. I really do. I hate when they do that. She making points, but we know she grifting. She don't even believe it. Yeah, you know. She be back and forth sometimes. She really do. She really do be back and forth. That's a fact. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Let me know. Do you think that Dr. Cheyenne Brown was cooking? Did she make some great points? Was I off? Who knows? But let's go ahead and move on to this next topic. We're going right down the line. So we're going to make a quick little pivot. We're going to make a quick little pivot on this one because I think this is very important, especially in today's economy. So there's this woman, she's an entrepreneur. And she said that she had a terrible year, meaning that she hadn't made any profit and she can barely pay for food. She can barely pay for food. So we're going to listen in to what she has to say, and then I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on it. All right? So let's go ahead and rock out.
I figured it out, and I was able to stay. This last year for me has been absolutely horrible. I am an entrepreneur and I have been extremely just living in actual poverty. And, I've gotten through that. I lost my dog, my puppy, my baby in August. And after a really expensive surgery, and I was gonna have to leave everything and move home to Harrisburg with my dad, but I just couldn't do it. And the last minute I figured it out, and I was able to stay, and I figured it out in September. But the cycles, they keep happening, and I've been struggling again, and I was banking on a huge deal that I worked so hard on, a big real estate deal that yesterday the girl backed out. We were supposed to close tomorrow, and then yesterday my car battery dies. Mind you, I have $0. I can't afford to eat, literally nothing. I have $0. And my car battery died, but I was able to fix it. But then I come out this morning and I have a boot on my car, and it's the same thing that happened in July. And it's just like God continuously is just kicking me when I'm down, and it's the cycle that just keeps happening. And nobody, like the people in my life, just the person in my life is just horrible. And I just can't do it anymore. And I'm making this video because I literally have nothing left to fucking lose, and I don't have anybody to talk to, and I'm at my wit's end. Like, I don't know how I can keep going. And I just pray that I can look back at this one day and just like, I hope I have the strength.
There was a time in my life where I would have sympathy for somebody just off the rip. I would start to have sympathy for somebody when they start crying. But here's the thing. I don't have sympathy here. And the reason I don't have sympathy is because first mistake, you had the opportunity to move back in with your father. You decided not to. That's one mistake, because what you could have done, you could have moved back in with your father, got yourself together, figured some things out, stack your bread back up, and then got back out there. So you decided not to do that because you said you figured it out, right? Then you're going to sit here and say that God continues to keep kicking you while you're down. First and foremost, that's one thing that you are not about to put that on God. That's what you're not about to do. That is not a God situation. That's a you situation. Because what you could have done, and this is why I don't care about what everybody's talking about, this other bullshit about, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm doing it. I've done that shit too, bro. It ain't glitz and glamour like you think it is. That's why I am very, very comfortable in the fact that I still have my 9-to-5 job and I am building this platform business on the side. Because eventually, this entire thing will then get in the way. Well, not this entire thing, but at some point, this thing is going to be so big to the point where my job is going to get in the way of me getting to an even bigger bag. So that's why I'm still working the 9-to-5 to make sure everything is taken care of on the back end with the bills and all that extra shit to maintain the lifestyle, right? And while I don't have to stress about money, now I'm over here building this platform. Now I can really focus in on and not having to worry about what's going on back here. And see, you shorty, you didn't put all your eggs in one basket because you probably thought that shit was about to be easy. This entrepreneurship was sweet cupcakes and ice cream. And now you in for a rude fucking awakening. And now you on TikTok and on Instagram and on TikTok over this bitch struggling and crying, talking about God kicking you while you down. That ain't the case. You still got a lot of time. You still got a lot of life. It ain't, I don't know what you're trying to give up for. Nigga, there's jobs hiring all over. Yeah, you may have to go and get you a job at McDonald's. But it's gonna help you pay your bills. It's gonna help you stop getting boots in your car. Get away from whatever situation or whatever area that you in. Get out of it. Go back to where your father's at. Go rebuild back up. Go rebuild yourself back up, and then come back out with a different mindset. You talking about you putting all your eggs in one basket on this deal, shorty, you bugging. You banking on this one deal, and that's what happens in real estate. That's one of the many things in real estate, because now you banking on somebody else to make a purchase so that way you can make your bread. Shit happens. That's part of real estate. Everything looks good, everything is sounding good, and it comes down to the wire the last fucking minute, and they back the fuck out. You like, bro, come on, fam. What are we doing? So I know some friends that has happened to, but because they had financial support, they had help, they had other things going on, they weren't tripping about it. Yeah, it probably would have been a huge deal, but that didn't stop them. So you putting all your eggs in one basket. Go back, go get a job. And if you still want to do real estate on the side. Yeah, you may be tired because you got to do a lot of different things. Listen, figure it out. But one of the things that you shouldn't be doing right now is getting online, crying to the whole goddamn world about you struggling because you didn't get a deal. I did a video, when was this? Wednesday? I did a video Wednesday that of this woman who is 40 years old. She up here crying online talking about, I don't know, my life is in shambles and I don't understand because I look back on my life, I'm reflecting on my life and I haven't completed anything. I haven't done anything. What is life? All this extra shit. Like, bro, that's your fault. That's a self-inflicting wound. That's on you. That's on you. And you getting online crying and hooping and hollering about it ain't gonna help the situation. How about you go figure it out? Go figure it out. This doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't have any sympathy or empathy for you. I don't. Because what you wanted was that lifestyle, and you haven't accomplished it. Okay, cool. You failed numerous of times. Get the fuck back up, dust yourself off, and get to it. Figure it out. Figure it out. I don't know. I don't understand. That's the shit that I don't be understanding, dog. I don't understand this. What's your reason? I just want to know, what's your reasoning for getting online to come cry and tell everybody about this? Are you looking for a Cash App? You looking for a GoFundMe? Or is this in your head? You thought this was going to be something that's going to get you a lot of views and going to get you popular? Or what? What you think? A person who wants to purchase a home is going to reach out to you and say, "Hey, listen, you know, I saw your video, I saw you crying, so I think I have a little empathy for you. So now I want to go buy a house from you." You think that's what it is? What is it? What you think that there's some other woman out here who's feeling the same way, so you decided to put your struggles out there in the world, so that way that you can feel they can feel a part of something, a part of a community or something? What is it? Get y'all shit together, man. Get your shit together. The world ain't over. Your life ain't over. You woke up. You're still breathing. So get to fucking work. Find out. Figure it out. Find out. Stop crying. Wipe your tears. Go figure some shit out. I would say go move back with your dad and tell him the situation, because if that's your dad and he willing to let you move back in with him, do what you got to do. He already paying the bills. So I'm pretty sure if you're his daughter and he care about his daughter, you're like, listen, don't even worry about paying the bills. I just want you to focus on you and build yourself back up. I've been paying bills all this time, so there ain't no reason for you to come in here and start paying some shit here. No, build your shit back up. Focus on the things that you need to focus on, and then you can rebuild yourself back up and get back out there. That shit wild. I never understood that, bro. But let me know what y'all think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. Make sure you hit the bell notification, dog. So now let's pivot over to this. This is really good. I think this would have been great for a Joey Swole situation. Y'all know who Joey Swole is? The guy who's always talking about gym etiquette and all this good shit. So it's actually 3 videos I'm gonna play that's kind of entailed with this. But I'm gonna play these 2 videos first. What up, Joe? What up, Joe? What up, Joe? What it do? 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 What's good with you? How you feeling? I'm gonna play these 2 videos first, because this woman here, there's this black woman who's speaking in regards to dress code in the gym. Like I said, I know Joey Swole love this one. Dress code in the gym, and this lady's giving her thoughts. So then I'm going to piggyback with the video in regards to what she's talking about. She ain't talking about this specific video, but it correlates very well. And I was like, damn, this is perfect. So I'm gonna play this first video, and then I'm gonna play the second video, then I get my thoughts. All right, so let's go ahead and rock out.
2 top little shorts that roll up into their twat, and then sit there and wonder what we looking at. We can't even focus on working out because we too busy looking at you with your full display. Then y'all get mad when men look at y'all or stare at y'all and say, "Oh, he's being weird." No, you're being weird when you decided to wear no clothes to the gym. And I understand it's your body. It's your body. It's your choice. You can wear whatever it is that you want to wear. I do agree with that. However, I just feel like the gym needs a dress code at this point, because women are coming in the gym with less and less clothes on. Where are your clothes, honey? Where are your clothes? I understand it's your choice, but at the end of the day, this is a public place and you're not at a beach. Like, you're not at the pool. So why do you not? You have on as little clothes as possible to come to the gym to work out with all these other people. This is not your personal gym. Like, it's not. If that's the case, you need to go to you make a gym at your house. Like, Nobody wants to see all of that. And then have the audacity to have an attitude when people stare at you. Like, girl.
Yes. Yes. 100%. I 110% agree, because we had this conversation on the Banter and Barter show a while back. And there was this woman in regards to what she was wearing. She was saying, and this same individual, she had some shorts that were way the fuck high rise. She's sitting on this box jump. She's sitting on this box where you do box jumps. And she's telling people, well, you shouldn't worry about what these women are wearing. It's their body. They should wear whatever they want to. You just need to stop looking. What? No. You don't. I want to make this 110% clear. I want to make this 110% clear. I've been playing sports for a long fucking time. Through high school, through college, a little bit after college, you know what I'm saying? Little leagues here and there. And in between that, you have to go to the gym, you got to work out, you got to build yourself up. Out of all of that time, even at my fittest, even when I was six-packed out, there was never a point where I felt as if I needed to wear less clothing or have to take my shirt off in order to get a proper lift in. There was never a point, because I could still get the work done. The same type of work that these women feel as if that they can get on. Oh, I need to wear shorter shorts, or I need to wear the less clothing as possible, so that way I can get the full form and I can get the full range of motion. All this extra bullshit. Y'all just making excuses. You don't need, bro. Put some fucking clothes on. I see niggas going in that bitch with big ass sweatpants and big ass hoodies and getting to fucking work. All this half naked shit, your ass cheeks showing. Like, bro, come on, bro. And then you get mad. And mind you, you already know how men are anyway, so they gonna look. It is what it is. And women gonna look at you too, but they ain't gonna look at you for the same reason. Like, look at this bitch here. They gonna be like, look at just how Craig's mama, when she walked out, when she get ready to go to work, she walked out. No, she ought to be ashamed of herself coming out there looking like that. Hey girl, hey, how you doing? Fine. I'm on my way to work. I'm gonna call you when I get home. Okay. For real, bro. So yes. So let me play this let me go ahead and play this other video. And then so it can give further context on what we're talking about.
Sorry to bother you, but I just was wondering if you have anything else that you can possibly change into.
What's she doing? Making the OnlyFans video? Why your ass out? Why your ass out?
Because your shorts unfortunately go against our dress code policy. What dress code? You can't wear that short of shorts in here. Where does it say that? Actually on the wall over there. Look.
You in Planet Fitness. Y'all taking this shit way too far, bro. This ain't a strip club, fam.
Dress code?
Okay, I'm not leaving.
You have to leave if you're not going to change, or at least put them lower.
No.
What do you mean no?
Is this good enough?
No.
Well, I'm not going to go anymore. So.
Then I'm going to have security escort you out, or I'm going to have to call the cops.
Well, although it kind of seems like this shit was kind of scripted a little bit. Seems like it's scripted because she wanted to laugh. But this still doesn't defeat the purpose at all, because this is what a lot of y'all will be wearing. Some of y'all will even just be wearing the little sports bra joint with the shorts, and they're talking about you finna do some squats. Or some hip thrusts, or some what you call them, or the hip abductors. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. What's your purpose of going in there? Can any one of y'all women who go to the gym on a consistent basis, who wear shit like this to the gym, I need a full-on explanation as to why you believe that's not only the appropriate aspect of it, why do you think it's necessary for you to go in there dressed like that just to work out? When you can do the exact same work with some pants on or some sweatpants or leggings and a big ass shirt. Because if you're in there to work, you in there to work. You ain't in there for the aesthetic of your clothing. You in there to put in the work and get the fuck out of there. That's what you're supposed to be in there for. Get you a nice ass sweat, get you a good ass pump, and get the fuck on with your day. That's what you're supposed to be in there for. So can somebody help me understand it? I need help. I genuinely need help to understand this situation. Because I don't at all. Can somebody help me? No? All right. Well, let me know what y'all think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification. Let's go. Now, speaking of the gym as well, this is something a little bit different. Also, I think Joey Swole will actually enjoy as well. So I want to get y'all true opinion on this. Do you think this lady is wrong? So there's this lady, she's working out in what looks like Lifetime Fitness. I'm very familiar with Lifetime Fitness. It's a dope ass gym, by the way. But hey, it is what it is. She's doing a video of herself working out, and then there's a woman who comes into the video, and she's stretching before she grabs her weights to go work out too. And the lady who's actually doing the video, she gets pissed off. So let's see what that's about, and then we'll give our thoughts on it. Oh shit, hold up. We don't want that.
Because we're loyal. Yes. Don't work out. Don't work out. Whatever.
Now hold on, let me see something real quick. Did she notice the gym? Did she notice the camera? Let me see something. I'm curious. Let's see. It kind of. Did she look at the camera right there? Let's see. Did she look at the camera? It looks like she may have grazed it.
Because we're loyal.
I don't know. No, I don't know. No. Jennifer, what's her name? Jennifer Picone. No. First and foremost, you talking about gym etiquette. First things first, you need to know that you're in the gym. It's a public place. So if you decide to put a camera up, it is not her responsibility to move out of the way. That's exactly, Joe. Exactly. That is not her responsibility. You decided to put the camera on and she's standing there stretching because she just got done doing her workout. Listen, maybe she got a little timer in her head that she's stretching to get her next weight so she can get her workout in. But because you decided, Miss Jennifer, you decided to get irritated because she's in your camera view and you don't want nobody else in your camera view but you. That's a you problem. So for you to come up here and put gym etiquette lesson number 47, don't photobomb the content creator. Fuck you and your camera, bro. And if I was old shorty, I would have stood right there. Matter of fact, I would have pissed her off even more. I would have stood right there and started doing fucking curls. I was like, oh, you want me to photo? Say less. You think I'm photobombing? Say less. Watch this. And looking dead at that bitch. I would have started doing random shit. No. You have no right to go and tell her to do whatever the case and get out of your camera because you decided to view yourself doing fucking I forgot you call those extensions. I forgot what you call them. That you decided to do them. That's on you. Yeah, and I swear and said, did you get it? I was like, did you get my good side? You got my good side, right? I bet. Like, who the fuck are you? I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what your camera is about. No. If you don't want, again, just like old girl said in the previous video, if you want your privacy, you want to do all that extra shit, go and find a private gym. Go and do your own thing. Go build your own gym so you can do all that. You ain't got to worry about nobody coming in front of your goddamn camera. You in the public ass gym. Nobody has to respect that. They can walk right past that bitch. You need to understand that. As a content creator, have you not seen any of Joey Swole's movies? I mean, interaction videos? Have you not seen any of them? Have you not seen a ton of other fitness enthusiasts when they're working out and they got their camera set up and they tell the person, you got people that say, hey bro, oh shit, hey bro, the camera's on my base. Like, hey man, you good, man, this public, man, you can walk by this shit all you want to. Have you not seen that? And you think that you think you're even more special, Jennifer? You think you're special, Jennifer, because you work out at Lifetime, Jennifer? You think that you have some sort of entitlement, Jennifer? You think you're entitled, Jennifer? You think that nobody should be in your camera? They should know that because you decided to record yourself working out, that everybody should know that not to walk in front of the camera or be in the camera view? No, you're 100% wrong. You are 110% wrong. And Shorty in the gray tights should have kept working out right there. She should have stood right there. And then Jennifer gonna have the nerve to say, don't work out by me. Bitch, who are you? Do you own this gym? Do you own this bitch? Do you own these weights? Do you own this land? No, you don't. So I'm gonna work out wherever the fuck I want to work out at. You got a problem with it, guess what you can do? You can pick that shit up, you can wipe that bitch down, and you can go the fuck home. That's what you can do. But like, fuck you and your camera. Now, what you got to say now? That's exactly what I would have said on me. That's exactly what I would have said. Like, fuck you and that bullshit ass workout. Swear, exactly. Like, oh Jennifer, I didn't know you paid my membership. Huh. Last time I checked, we paid the same amount to come in this gym at any time we want to come in here. And you telling me we're not to work out? Yeah, you got me all kinds of fucked up. You got me all kinds of fucked up. You better go find you some business. and tend to it. That's what you better do. And worry about your motherfucking self. Because what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Go downstairs and tell the people at the front desk what they gonna do? And I'm going to turn right back around. Hey, do you pay my membership here? Do you pay my membership? No? Okay, that's what I thought. Because last time I checked, my name is on that membership. When I come through and scan my name and I scan that little that scanner, my name pops up. I don't see Jennifer. I don't see her name popping up, nor do I see the front desk name popping up. So I'm gonna work out wherever the fuck I want to work out at. So no, that's first. What you should have put is your gym etiquette and understanding that people are going to be in your camera view whether you want them to or not. Or what you could have done, Jennifer, you could have said, hey, I don't know if you want to be on camera or not, but I just want to let you know that I am recording the camera over here just in case you don't want to be seen on camera. So, excuse me. Now, typically speaking, most people will be like, oh shit, my bad. I'm gonna get out of your way. That's what you could have did. But instead, you decided to have a little entitlement. You decided to get upset and you started to get annoyed. You got annoyed. And mind you, we can't even confirm the fact that she even saw the camera in the first fucking place. We can't confirm. We saw her look around, but we couldn't necessarily, because it's kind of dark and she's kind of far away, we can't really tell if she was looking dead at the camera or not. She may have looked that way, but we don't know if she saw the camera now. And from the looks of it, it looked like it was a tripod, so she might have seen it. Or she probably said, I really don't give a fuck. I'm here to get my work out of here. I'm doing my thing. I'm focusing on me. So that's Jennifer. That's your fault. Do better, shorty. Do better. Get your life together. Stop being entitled just because you work out at Lifetime, shorty. Relax. It ain't that serious. It's not that serious. Calm the fuck down. But am I off on this? I want to keep playing a little bit. Let me see if I miss anything else. Doing what on purpose? What's she doing on purpose, Jennifer? What is she doing on purpose? Can you even confirm that she was even looking at the camera? Can you even confirm it? Or are you just in your emotions and you feel some type of way?
Yes.
Don't work out next to me. Oh, don't work out next to me. Man, I definitely would have worked out beside her. My guy Fry, what up with it, homie? What's good with it, big dog? Oh, you better believe I would have been, you better fucking believe it. I would have sat right next to her motherfucking ass and started working out. I don't even care. I don't care if I was doing back that day and that was a shoulder press bench. I would have sat right there and started doing shoulders just to piss her off even more. On God, I would have. I'm gonna say, okay, don't worry about it. I would have got my shit and sat right there. I'm like, what you gonna do if I don't? And what you gonna do if I don't? This ain't your bitch, hoe. Oh, I would have got disrespectful then. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then she called her a bitch.
Whatever.
Oh, she was doing. Oh, yeah. Nah, you bugging. Jennifer, you bugging, Jennifer. Go find you some business. Go find you a private gym so that way you ain't got to worry about people jumping on your podcast. I mean, jumping on your video recordings and shit. Because you out of pocket, 1,000%. 1,000%. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification. Listen, if you want to support the channel, help your boy reach a goal. I do have the goal set up in there. If you want to support, do so. It is not expected, but it's definitely appreciated. All right. Also, if you want to tap into the Patreon, make sure you tap into the Patreon, dog. And make sure you share this with your family and your friends. We trying to grow this page. You feel me? We on the up and up with this page. So therefore it's trending up. You don't want to be the ones that's missing out on all the great content. You feel me? And plus, you don't want to miss this gorgeous face. Oh, and also, if you haven't seen too, I don't know if it's showing on. Is it showing? Let me see. Let me see something. Let me see if it's showing. Because if I am correct, you should be able to see that I have added an addition to the channel. I added some merch to the channel. You see these bad boys right here? Yeah. But I don't know if it's showing or not. Let me double check to see if it's showing. Let me double check to see. Let me see. What did you think that I would do at this moment when you're standing before me with tears in your eyes? Oh shit, hold up. Let me see. 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 It ain't showing. Hold on, pimp. Hold on, pimp. Hold on, pimp. See, earn not given Patreon. Boom, boom, boom. For sake. Huh. So I guess it don't show. I guess the merch ain't showing. We gotta fix that. We gotta fix that. We gotta fix that, dog. All right, don't worry about it. We'll get there. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to this next topic, the main topic of today. Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. Boy, Stephen A. Smith is having a hell of a year, dog. You hear me? This man is beefing with every goddamn body, bro. This man beefing with everybody this year in 2025. What's going on? You got Max Kellerman, Jasmine Crockett, LeBron James. Then he had it. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a beef between him and Shannon Sharp, but he was protecting his bag in that aspect. You feel me? He was protecting his bag. But goddamn, bro, you having beef with people is wild work. God damn, bro. Calm down, Stephen A. Calm down. But him and Max Kellerman are beefing. Because if y'all know that Max Kellerman was on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. And apparently there was a situation that was going on that we don't know yet, but we gonna figure it out. And then we gonna talk about it. So we gonna hear from Max Kellerman's point of view first, because that's what started it out. He was on the Bill Simmons podcast. Shout out to Bill Simmons. And then they broke that whole relationship down between him and Stephen A. Smith. And then I'm gonna then jump to Stephen A. Smith giving his rebuttal in regard to that video. All right. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification, dog.
You're in a relationship with where you're doing a show together for how many years? 4?
5.
5 years. You're with this dude every day, seeing him in the mornings, you commercial breaks, you're hanging out.
Sure.
And then the show ends, or the show ends with you, and he moves on with other people. And then, and I should say I like Stephen A. and I've always gotten along with him. I didn't love how he handled the aftermath of you leaving, where it's basically like, I told you the show would be better. I just thought, because I think you're really talented. Now, you and I have known each other for a while. Whether it meshed as a show perfectly, I don't know the answer to that, but I just didn't think that was the right way to handle it.
If you're doing a debate show and you're a competitive person,
yeah,
why would you want me as a partner? That's bad. You want to go 15 rounds every day with Muhammad Kellerman? That's just bad. It's embarrassing,
So you think that was part of it? He didn't want to put the time in? Or like just wanted a different type of show? What's your take looking back 2 years later?
I don't think it has to do with put the time in. It's, it's a debate show.
You're ready to roll on all topics.
You want to like if you're, I have an idea. This is what I want to put on TV. I want to spar Bud Crawford every day for 15 rounds, and I want everyone to see it. Eventually, you're going to say, I don't want to do that anymore.
And you bring in some other people in a rotating cast.
Yeah. I mean, that's one aspect of it. There are others. In other words, that's what I could tell you from my point of view.
Yeah.
And I also think that if you make a calculation, that if you can be perceived as a solo act, really, that you can get paid at a certain level that you can't if you're not a solo act, then you'd like to be a solo act, or at least perceived that way.
Well, so like Mike and the Mad Dog are a good example of a show where it was the two of them together for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, whatever happened. Mike got his own show and he stayed on top for
Do you know who was supposed
6,
to be?
7
Do you know
years.
who he wanted to be in
Did you
Mad
get the
Dog's
call?
new position? Oh, yeah, that was the plan. I was supposed to go over and work with Mike, yeah.
Interesting. Because I got the call. Who else got the call?
I don't know, but we had like come to an understanding.
So you're going to leave ESPN and do it?
I did leave ESPN.
You think so, Lord? Max Kellerman has always been a better debater than Stephen A. Smith. Every realistically, the gap in their intelligence is noticeable.
But not to do a show with Mike.
Yeah.
He is a good debater, though.
You did the show with Mike?
No.
So what happened?
I think my interpretation of what happened, my analysis is, I think he realized at a certain point, they're not going to make me take a partner. Why should I take a partner? Because I'm beating the hell out of the guys across town by myself. I think when he thought they're going to make me take a partner, then it was like, okay, well, I'd like it to be with that guy. And then when it was like, I don't need a partner.
Yeah, that's too bad though, because I actually think long term he did need a partner, because it's always good to have people to play off of.
Look, I don't need a partner either.
No.
But I like having one because I find conversations more interesting than just talking into the wind, you know?
So over the years, you had Brian Kenny.
Yeah. Jim Lampley, Marcellus Wiley.
Marcellus for a
I had
while.
great partners. And in fact, I've become good friends with the people I work with because I like, Bill, you know better than anybody. We're getting away with it. If you're in this business, you're getting away with it. Shh, we're talking about sports.
Right.
And like,
you'd be doing this anyway.
Come on. It's your job as a guy, like an average American guy. It's your job to follow sports. It's like literally what you have to do. You have no choice in the matter, right? You got to find out what's going on. And so how to make that experience even better? Hang out with your friends and talk about sports, right? Like, why would you not want to do that? It's interesting because Stephen A.
Stephen A. want that bag, man. Listen, one thing you not gonna do, and what we do understand about Stephen A. Smith is gonna get him a bag. And he gonna focus on that bag. He gonna make sure he get top dollar anywhere that he can. So if that means that he has to go solo in order to get every single dollar that he possibly can, that's what he gonna do. So if he had to pivot, get some people off the show in order to do that, guess what? That's exactly what Stephen A. Smith is gonna do.
It was the one partner I've ever had over like years.
Yeah.
Where I didn't feel like a relationship was really forming. And I like to go to work and you know.
You could feel a little bit watching it. And it was hard to tell how much of it was theater and how much of it was like, oh, these guys just don't get along in the same way, or
whatever you feel about who you're working with and what the situation is. To me, a cardinal sin is betraying that on the air. You should always be thinking about making the show entertaining.
Right.
And I do think it reached the point on that show where it was like, come on, dude, we the first priority is to make good TV.
Well, good TV is like professional wrestling, right?
Right.
Both guys have moves. You guys tell the other guys move.
Of course.
And I think we've all been in situations who've done this where you're with somebody or on a bigger show where people either selling your moves or they're not.
Right. Exactly right. But he's a showman. Like he would, I never had to worry about when the little red light came on that it wouldn't be a show, but it would be like, you don't want to be undermined, you know?
Is that a fun show to do? Like, did you like doing, what was it, 2 hours a day of just 5 days a week of having to react and just be like prisoner of the moment stuff.
The issue with that show is this. What is a hot take? A hot take is a counterintuitive conclusion that on TV, you're going to just state your conclusion. You do analysis about a subject. You come to a conclusion that's counterintuitive. So when you say it, people will be like, what are you talking about? Give me 90 seconds. I'll explain it to you. Oh, at least he has a point of view. If there are 12 topics a day and you have 12 hot takes on those topics, because by and large, there's a consensus about sports. This guy's good. This guy's not as good. Whatever it is. This team is in the right direction, the wrong direction. Whatever it is. The consensus is usually correct, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, some small percentage of the time, in fact, what everyone thinks is not true. If you have a counterintuitive conclusion about every topic in sports every day, you are insane. Like Skip Bayless is very entertaining, and I always enjoy my interactions with him privately.
Yeah.
He's insane, right? Like you have 12 hot takes a day? Unbelievable, right?
Right.
You've come to 12 conclusions that go against the consensus every single day that you're going to... But Stephen A. has no hot takes. Stephen A. almost never, I can't think of any counterintuitive conclusions that he ever reaches. That's not his job on the air. His job is to be the big reactor to a counterintuitive conclusion. Reactor. He's there to hear the crazy conclusion that his partner has come to and actually be the everyman with a loud voice. Like, you are crazy, right? And do it theatrically.
Yep.
So there's a lot of pressure on his partner to come up with a counterintuitive conclusion about everything. Now, how do you do that? Well, you're just making it up. You're doing it for TV. No, what you do is you take a topic, and a good producer will start to drill down on the topic and say, okay, so you agree about this. So Mahomes is a great quarterback. But what does he do well? And what does he not? And you keep going down until until you get a divergent opinion. Well, actually, I think he is good at this. No, I think he's good. No, actually, the most important player on that, we both think this is going to win. This team's going to win the championship. We both think this is why. Drill down. But no, actually, the key player is, other than the superstar, is this guy. No, it's that guy. Actually, Draymond Green is the second most important player on the Warriors, right? He's actually the pick and roll partner who does all the dirty work.
Victor Wembanyama is the best player in the NBA right now.
There you go. There's a counterintuitive conclusion.
Yeah.
But you keep digging until you get a divergent opinion, and there is your argument. But there was a lot of pressure on that show. Like Stephen A's opinion will not diverge into counterintuitive almost ever. So his big take will be, but he'll deliver it theatrically, is Steph Curry is the greatest shooter that God ever created. Who does not know this?
Yeah.
Everyone knows this.
Right.
A counterintuitive take would be, actually, you know who the best shooter on the Warriors is? It's Klay Thompson. Because I'm making this up. I don't believe this. I thought it was Steph. But because when you say greatest, you have to talk about high leverage moments too.
Yeah.
And I have more confidence in Klay hitting a high leverage moment 3 than I do Steph. Something like that, right? You have to, that will never happen. So there was pressure on that show for me to keep digging until you hear something you think is crazy.
This is the perfect example of what you just said. Jalen Brunson is the best Knick of all time.
There you go. Do you believe that?
No.
Okay, then you can't say that.
It's arguable though.
But
that is listen, hold on. He ain't been there long enough, but it can be in the argument. It can be. So you have greatest. We talking greatest. So you got Patrick Ewing. Start. Is it Start? The Trail Sprewell. Brunson. Who else? Man, let me look this up real quick. Hold on. Let's look at it. Let's look this up real quick. Hold on. So you got Patrick Ewing, Walt Frazier, Willis Reed. I don't even know who that is. Charles Oakley, Allen Houston. Yeah, I remember Allen Houston. Yup, number 20, Allen Houston. I used to play with that nigga a lot on Live. Starks, yup. John Starks, Carmelo Anthony, Julius Randle. Man, take Julius Randle up out of there. Put Jalen Brunson in there. Put Brunson in there. I'll take Brunson over Randall any day. Absolutely Carmelo Anthony, John Starks. I'll take Brunson over Starks. I'll take Brunson over Allen Houston. I'll take Charles Oakley, interchangeable. I'll take Brunson over him. Definitely over Willis Reed. Definitely over Walt Frazier. But Melo though. So I would go Melo, Brunson, Ewing, Frazier, Houston Starks. Yeah, Houston Starks, Oakley, and then Randall. That's what I would do. That's how I would go. That's how I would go about it. So yeah, those are your top Knicks. So yeah, I got Carmelo Anthony at the number one all-time New Yorker. And then I got Brunson, then I got Ewing, and then Frazier, then Allen Houston, then Starks, then Oakley, then Randall. Yeah, that's my take.
But you have to keep digging until you find the thing that Bill Simmons thinks is
But I'm
actually
saying
true.
on those shows,
Yeah.
if I say that in a
Right.
production meeting, they're like, "That's amazing."
They'll go
That's
nuts. But
segment 2, let's
but
do
you
it.
should not say the thing you don't believe. You know, you
Right.
should stick with, and that's so the difficulty with me on that show was it was a lot of work to keep digging until I said the thing that I believed that would also get a reaction.
But on top of it, they're telling you Cowboys, Lakers, Knicks, Yankees, like
Of course.
it's all the big teams
For good reason.
over
I mean,
and over again. That's the red meat.
You fish where the fish are.
Like right now, the Cowboys having a little run. It's perfect because it's actually reasonable to talk about them. I remember when I was doing Countdown, they're trying to make us lead with the Lakers all the time because that's coming from Bristol.
Of course.
Lead with the Lakers again. It's like, well, can we lead with Memphis? They just traded Rudy Gay and the team's better.
I would
It's
tell
a really
you no.
interesting first
Do not lead
They're
with
like,
Memphis.
no, talk about Kobe, Kenny Meg, how high can they get? And then we'd have to do that segment again.
Of course.
And that's kind of the ESPN Red Meat philosophy.
By the way, the first thing I said on First Take that drove everyone nuts was Tom Brady's going to fall off a cliff. Right?
I remember that.
and-
That made me angry.
Yeah, and the part that I didn't like, and I apologized about it the next day, and they didn't like it on the show when I apologized, was I said he's going to be a bum in short order. But I was just being I was talking the way you talk in a barbershop, right? I didn't really mean I just meant a guy, a jag is what I should have said. But it was just based on every quarterback who ever lived.
Is this a defend your meme?
Yeah. I was.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go over to the Stephen A portion of it, and let's see what Stephen A got to say about this and about this interview. Because I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't hear anything wrong in regards to what Max Kellerman said. I haven't heard anything wrong. So let's go ahead and over here to Stephen A and see what he got to say.
See, there's that all I want to say is, are you really sure you want to go there? See, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Are you sure you want to go there? Because I'm not unless you take me there. Now, to backtrack, we worked for 5 years together, 2016 to 2021. And yes, I didn't think we worked together any longer. I did not want to do a debate show with Max Kellerman. What I keep trying to explain to all of y'all is that under no circumstances do I dislike or hate this dude. This ain't some Stephen A. and Michelle Beadle thing going on where she was coming at me like that, or me going at, the fat bastard. This is not that.
Fat bastard.
I got news for most of y'all. Max Kellerman is one of the kindest dudes you'd ever want to meet. He's actually a very nice guy. And Sports Center, boxing, whatever. No problem. If Max Kellerman, I think he has a podcast with Rich Paul coming out, if I remember correctly, or whatever. But if Max Kellerman wanted me to come on his show, I'd happily do it. If Max Kellerman needed a favor and he picked up the phone to call me, no problem. That has nothing to do with wanting to work with somebody on a debate show. We want to go there, let's go there. Max Kellerman was succeeding Skip Bayless. Max Kellerman's first day on the job, he said, Tom Brady is a bum. He's going to fall off a cliff.
He did say that.
And the next day he apologized.
Yep.
That's no crime. There's nothing wrong with it in the grand scheme of things. A matter of fact, decent thing to do because he might have felt his comments were a bit extreme. We've all been there. Me too. But there was an audience that was accustomed to Skip Bayless being diametrically different for a decade. And when Max came on the show, the top ratings were handed to us because of what Skip and I were doing.
Yeah.
So the audience has an expectation for that show.
Right.
That show is not Get Up. That show is not PTI. That show is not Around the Horn. That show is not Sports Center. That show came with an expectation that the audience was looking for us to live up to. Anybody that's in front of the camera has an obligation to be compelled to be pulled towards what the audience wants because that's how you get ratings. Now, I know Marcellus Wiley has his opinions, and we're going to hear them in just a second. And after we finish hearing from him, I'm going to show you why evidently that's something he didn't pay attention to either.
Oh, shit.
Play what Marcellus Wiley had to say in response to hearing Max say what he said about me in answering Bill Simmons' question.
Damn, he beefed with Marcellus too? God damn. All right.
Listen to Marcellus Wiley speak.
I want to be candid because I know what Stephen A. Smith felt working with Max Kellerman. I felt the same thing. I did radio with Max for 6, 8 years, maybe 10. I don't know. We worked together forever. Max is so smart that when you talk, if you're not standing 10 toes down on what you're talking about, and think about it, if you're doing 2, 3, 4 hours of content, some of that may start getting a little bit looser from where you really have your core beliefs. Some of this may be some of the stuff you're talking about, but you didn't really watch that game. You really don't know what that player did yesterday. You know who he is in summation, but you don't know that moment. And that's where Max is a whole different animal than most players. Most people in this industry, you can go toe-to-toe with, you can fluff with, you can go deep with, but when it comes to that, there's also an ego at play. So what he said with Stephen A. Smith is, hey, dog, we got to do this all the time, every day, a few hours a day. Good luck. And I know what Stephen A. Smith felt because I felt the same things when I would have discussions with Max. You'd be like, God dang, dog, where we going? Like, you just be like, I was going to stay on the block. Then he say, nah, let's just go around town. Okay. Next thing you know, you have traveled the country, the world in a conversation. Now, to Stephen A.'s point, he's like, I don't know how entertaining that is. I don't know where you took me, but where you took me, I don't know if the people want to go. I do not, like Bill Simmons said, like how he handled when Max left. The Max departure tour, you know, when he went around with the Tupac on, the whole outfit, the all eyes on me, I didn't like that. That's the only time I ever had anything bad to say about Stephen A. Smith. That started the dominoes in terms of that.
Couple of things. That last part that Marcellus Wiley said, although I disagree, it's fair. It's no all eyes on me, Tupac joint, all of this other stuff. No, it's that we were the #1 rated show. And people watched us every morning. And there was an audience out there demanding why the change. And I had to answer for it. Would you have preferred that I run and hid and not said anything and not tell you where I stand, Marcellus Wiley? Would you have preferred that I thought you supposed to be Mr. Truth Teller? Was I supposed to hide? Didn't I make that call? Didn't I ask for the change? Am I supposed to act like I did it? Am I supposed to sit up there and pull a okey doke and be all disingenuous and acting like, oh, it had nothing to do with me? That's weak, bro. That's not how I felt. I was straight up about it. I thought you respected that. Marcellus.
Marcellus.
So even though what you're saying that you didn't like and what Bill Simmons didn't like was legitimate, I'm talking to two people that's about two people, meaning Marcellus Wiley and Bill Simmons, that claim to be honest and straight up and down about who they are and where they coming from and what are you knocking me for? The fact that I was? That's how I felt. And I said so. Period. I ain't apologizing then. I ain't apologizing now. Not mad about it. Not mad at y'all about it. I'm just saying, if y'all got podcasts and y'all got YouTube channels and y'all have a mechanism in which to distribute and disseminate your message and you're claiming to be truthful, what you knocking a brother for being truthful for? That's what I did. I told you from where I stand. And oh, by the way, Marcellus, speaking about what you didn't like, respectfully, let me tell you what I don't like about you.
Oh, shit.
Since you are also my former colleague at ESPN. I didn't say I don't like you. I said, let me tell you what I don't like about you, meaning what you're doing or what you've done. Bro, you've never called me once to ask me what happened. Your entire perspective is from Max, who is one of, if not your best friend on the planet. You ain't never asked me. I ain't never get a call from you saying what happened. When you and Max had your show together, I appeared on it anytime y'all asked. You knew me well enough where if you wanted an answer as to what happened, you know I would have told you. You've never once asked me. Not one time. You have a slanted perspective, which is cool. Say so. Tell the world. You ain't interested in hearing about nobody else says. All you care about is what that side says. And I'm good.
One thing I can say for sure. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful when it comes to this media shit, bro. You gotta be careful who you have around you. You gotta be careful that, because a lot of these people ain't friends, bro. A lot of these people ain't friends, and you can't expect them to operate how you want them to operate. You know what I mean? So all these fake friendships and, oh man, you should have called me. Man, them niggas ain't rocking like that. Just because they work with you don't mean they gotta call you. That's everybody ain't cut from the same cloth like that. They're not obligated. They're not obligated to. And they're still, and especially if they got their own podcast and shit like that, they gonna talk about it. Now, of course, I'm the type of person as well. Yeah, I will hit you up on the back and like, hey man, what's going on with that situation, bro? Like, especially if I'm really rocking with you, if we really tight knit like that, I'm gonna talk about it on the back end, like, hey bro, what's going on with that situation, bro? So that way, if we do have the conversation now, I understand how to go about it if I do decide to talk about it on the platform, right? So that's what I would do in that sense. That's what I would do. So, but you can't have the expectation for somebody to call you, because I mean, everybody ain't close like that. They probably don't rock with you like how you think they do. It is what it is.
You don't do that. Bill Simmons, you interviewed me. You didn't tell me you didn't like how I exited or how the exit happened. And, you know, hey, I wish you wouldn't have done this or that. You didn't tell me that when you spoke to me. Where y'all at?
I'm calling their ass.
Now let me get back to Max Kellerman, but only before I say this last part. I'm only addressing what Marcellus and Bill Simmons had to say, whether it's with their question or their perspective. Marcellus Wiley, you're saying you know how I feel. No, you don't. You have no clue. Number one, because you never asked. Number two, because I ain't you and you ain't me. And number three, because it was a debate show, not a radio show. there was no mandate or obligation that you had to have a diametrically opposed position from Max as your counterpart doing radio, bruh. If you're going to talk to people about the industry, talk to them about the industry. You had a radio show. You did not have a debate show. So the obligations and the responsibilities that came along with it are entirely different. It doesn't mean you make up or fabricate a position or anything like that. You want to be real and authentic as you possibly can be. But if you agree with one another doing radio, so be it. If you agree with one another doing a debate show, it's not a debate show. So the responsibilities, the onus, the obligations that come with what me and Max were doing were entirely different than what y'all were doing.
All right.
So how would you understand? You don't. Once again, you're speculating, swearing up and down you got facts when you don't. You have a perspective from one side. See, what I do when I talk about folks is I ask both sides and I get both perspectives. And then I come to you with my conclusion. I'm not mad, Marcellus. I'm not disrespecting you, bro. I'm just simply saying my point is you didn't ask me. Not one time. Now let me get to Muhammad Kellerman.
Muhammad Kellerman.
Muhammad Kellerman.
He did call himself that. Muhammad.
Debating Crawford every day and all of this other stuff. I brought up the fact that you said Tom Brady in the cliff. Then you turned around and apologized the next day because it was the first of many equivocations. If somebody wants to go out and think that I have a speck of fear of debating anyone, anytime, any place, fine, go ahead and believe that. If you want to ignore what you saw over the airways for 5 years when I was on the air sitting across from him, fine. What you're missing is, again, a debate. It was a debate show. It's nothing personal. This is not 2009, ladies and gentlemen, when I got fired. I didn't get my contract renewed. We keep forgetting, since y'all loved Max Kellerman so much and people felt like, oh my God, what's going to happen to him? You keep forgetting that when he departed from First Take, he got not one, but 2 shows. He had a radio show in the morning immediately. And he also had an afternoon show on ESPN that was his own show. He still kept this boxing show. And I can assure you there was no pay cut.
Yeah.
I got fired. Although that was a decade earlier. If I thought for 1 second that Max Kellerman would have been fired or unemployed or whatever, I never would have made the suggestion.
Interesting. That's an interesting point. I don't have much to say on it. I don't. I don't have much to say about it. I think it's interesting. I think that there are a lot of people who got their thoughts and opinions on that situation. I just say that Stephen A. always beefing with somebody. He always beefing with somebody, bro. He always got somebody beefing, and it's always in regards to the show. It's damn near almost always dealing with the show on whatever the situation is. But again, you know, it's great for media though. It's great for media, keeps them relevant. That's for fucking sure. Keeps them relevant. That's for fucking sure. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Let me know what y'all think. All right, so let's go. What do we got? We got here. All right, cool. We good. We on good timing, dog. We on good timing, dog. So let's go to this next topic. Let's Let's talk about Pearly Things. So she ended up, y'all remember last time I did a review on Pearly Things, she was on Ilkan Ali and Fatty's channel, and that whole debacle happened. You know, she said one thing, and then the black women on that panel, you know, Tyranny and fucking Jazz went off the rails, and then everybody had their divided beliefs and what happened, what should have happened, what didn't happen, what could have happened, all this extra shit. She's a racist, all this extra shit, right? So now she ended up on the Lapeef network, and Marquette popped on, and apparently she left because he was there. That's what they're saying, but we're gonna figure that out. And then she was going, she had a back and forth with what's his name? With this guy named Ilosophical, whatever the fuck he say. Ilosophical. That's his name, Ilosophical. So, oh well shit. Well, you stole my money. Go ahead and put something in the super chat then. How about that? How about that cocktail day? All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification. Let's rock out.
All the time. Everybody is tired of them. Nobody wants to deal with them. Even other Black people do not want to deal with these people. You know when you see them in public. You know when they're going to give you attitude at the CVS. Everybody knows it, and they want to avoid it.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and kick it off, man.
Hold up. Before we start, I got a question to ask everybody. When you think about Black fatigue, right? When you think about Black fatigue, is there a certain demographic of people that you think about in the Black community? Or is it all Black people? I'm asking y'all. I didn't say nothing. I'm asking y'all. When you think about Black fatigue, do you think about a certain demographic or a certain subgroup of Black people? Or is it the entire Black community? I want to know. Give me your honest opinion. I want to know.
My first question I'm going to pose to the panel. When you hear Black fatigue, what does it mean to you? Go ahead, Drew.
I mean, I understood the original.
I think sorry, Lapeef, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna let it play. I'm sorry, Lapeef. I think you probably should have named it that way because everybody has their interpretation on it. And I think it could have went a lot different. When you say what's your perspective on it and what do you think about it, I think that it gets away from the actual point of what Black fatigue is in my thought process, right? So the way that I frame the question is, when people say Black fatigue, do you think that they're speaking in regards to the entire community, or you think they're talking about a subgroup of people in that Black community? Because I think what that does then, it goes to show, no, it's not all Black people, or maybe it is all Black people. We don't know. But I think if you frame it that way, now we can really get down to the nuts and bolts of that question versus just, hey, when you hear it, what do you think? Because, you got your pro-Blackity Blacks, they're going to think that everybody's encompassing. Black people are all encompassed. And now it's, they talking about Black people. So it alleviates that aspect of it.
Definition of it, I think that was more in line. But it does sound like people are just annoyed with, maybe being inundated with the complaints of the community. Like they said, they're kind of building on this new narrative. So I can't say I disagree wholeheartedly. There's some truth to that. It's fair to hear people out, but I know it's new. Well, I'm sure we'll expound upon it, but that's what I have so far. You
ain't really said nothing, Trail. I mean, Drew. Playing safe. Go ahead, Pearl. Miss Pearl.
How do we build apps on our company's data?
I can't hear you again. There you go.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't say it like that. So it was a lot that was said in the video.
I want to know what's on the video. I just want to know, when you hear the word Black fatigue, what does it mean to you?
It means what Ms. Winters described it as. It's the erosion of our mind, body, and our spirit from systemic racism and daily microaggressions and lack of sustainable racial progress. So I don't like that they change terms that means something for us to focus on. It gives other races of people who may be ignorant or avoidant of our issues that they may have directly caused. To piggyback on that, ignorance is ignorance across all races of people. We all have degenerates of every race and culture. We don't respect or accept those. That's not the highlight of who we are, and I don't think that's what we need to focus on. Black fatigue is what it stands for and what it will always be, and that's what we need to focus on. Why are we physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted? And let's not focus on the ignorance that they want to keep highlighting. Everybody will be sick of that. That's obvious. Let's just stay on the foundation and build off of that. I land my plane.
Pretty intellectual. When you hear Black fatigue, what does it mean to you?
I mean, for me, it's the initial definition. It's Black people being sick and tired of always being classed in a box, whether it be in America or all across the world as a result of colonization and, white inferiority. But typical, as usual, white people have a habit of stealing our words. So just like woke, and just like thug, and just like ghetto, and just like all of these other words, they just have a habit of not being able to find words themselves. So they take words that we use to describe and explain our experiences, and then they try to steal it to be their own definitions of something that is not the original definition of the word. So I think that Black people should not allow them to again take the word just like they did woke. It has a definition. Like, for example, I have Karen fatigue, right? I do. Genuinely, I cannot stand seeing them crash out in Walmarts and Targets all across America. But somehow, we all have fatigue with the other race, but find your own word. You see how I just made that up? I didn't have to steal something that's within the white community and make it something.
Well, Karen is basically the same thing as a Black fatigue. Everybody uses it. Black people use there's a Karen, or white people use there's a Karen. So see what I'm talking about, man? Like y'all, y'all want to be gatekeepers, but at the same time, y'all don't want to be gatekeepers. Bro, pick one. Pick a struggle, bro. We didn't make up every word we didn't. We got to stop doing that. Yeah, cool. Black fatigue, whatever the case may be. Yeah, y'all, man, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So yeah, it's still the original definition for me.
Okay. All right, go ahead, not Miss Pearl, but Pearl.
Thanks for having me, guys. So when I think of Black fatigue, I think that people are kind of sick of Black people's behavior and excuses for the behavior. And I would say some of the behavior this is not all Black people, as I always have to say with these kind of conversations, but I would say these are some of the things that people are fatigued of. Black people committing more crime, a lack of basic decorum, a lack of good faith, at times a lack of work ethic, basic manners, sexual behavior in public, dressing overly provocative, taking advantage of white people's good nature, gaslighting, attitude. I could give stories where personally this has happened to me at work, in sports, in cities, and in friend groups. Somebody said microaggressions. I don't really know what that means, but I think that's kind of just an excuse for poor behavior. So that's what I would say it is.
Okay. Go ahead, Ella. Black fatigue, what does it mean to you?
The original definition. I think that what we're witnessing is the fatigue of just ignorant behavior that all races carry. You know what I'm saying? So I think to just coin it as Black fatigue, like what do we call?
Let's because this is what I hate. This is what I hate. Let's look up what it actually means. Let's go Black fatigue. Let's look up Black fatigue, right? Let's look it up. Black fatigue describes the profound mental, physical, and spiritual exhaustion experienced by Black individuals due to persistent systemic racism, microaggressions, and the burden of educating others about these injustices, leading to chronic stress, health issues like high blood pressure, and emotional drain, a concept coined by diversity expert Mary Frances Winters in her book, Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit. It's a form of racial trauma manifesting as deep weariness from daily iniquities and is compounded by the need to navigate disbelieving or fragile white colleagues and systems that fail to deliver promised equity. So that's what Black fatigue is, right? That's what they mean. So in meaning basically that Black people are fatigued because of all of the different things that they have experienced or talked about, whatever the case may be. That's what Black fatigue is. But of course, it has been hijacked to mean something else in regards to meaning Black fatigue in regards to how certain people in the Black community are behaving, how they're acting, what they're doing, constantly running in the Victim Olympics, different things like that. So it has been hijacked from the actual meaning to mean that. So when they say Black fatigue, Black people in the Black community, when they say Black fatigue, they're meaning like, well, I'm tired of telling white people or anybody outside of our race about the injustices and the spiritual, mental trauma that we go through as Black people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But on the outside, people have hijacked it to making it think like, hey man, listen, bro, it ain't all people, but this Black fatigue, what we mean by it is, is certain people of that group always complaining, always trying to play victim or some shit like that. That's what they mean by that. And let's not act like words don't get hijacked. Words always get hijacked to mean something else. It may mean one thing. The actual root of the word may mean this, but somebody has hijacked it to make it mean something else. Like, let's not be dumb here. We always do this shit. We always do this shit with different words. We can say just for slang. Hey, bro, it's up. What's up? What you mean? It's up. What's up? You mean you ready to squabble? All right, got you. Like, words always get hijacked and then turn into something different else to mean something else. Like, man, we do this with a lot of different words. Like, come on, man.
What do we call what white people do? Is what's the word for that? Would it just be called, hey, we're just tired of ignorance, we're just tired of, or is it white fatigue? Like, to me, Black fatigue is what it originally means. But it's just funny to hear white people talk about the side effects of what their people have done to people, and then talk about, hey, I don't know what's wrong with them. Like, how do our people have been disrespected when we behaved at our best? When you look into history, when people get, what happened to us, all the violent atrocities, the redlining, those people wasn't sagging their pants. Those people wasn't rapping gangster lyrics. Those people were going to church. They was conservative. Their pants was buckled up. They was going to church and all that, and they was blowing them shits up. So when I hear white people, the most violent, the most aggressive, the most pillaging people to ever walk the face of this planet, actually call out people who are just showing the side effects of years of mental degradation, social degradation, economic chicanery.
Yeah,
and you talk. I know you're getting triggered. It's gonna be a long night. Get ready.
No, I'm not triggered. I thought we could go back and forth.
Hey, Pearl. I will say this, Pearl. You got a whole frame, Pearl. You got a whole frame. Everybody's getting their points off first. Let everybody speak. Just write your notes down, then let everybody talk. You gotta hold off. Let them get his shit off. Let everybody else get their thoughts off, and then you can come back when he opens the panel up. You got a whole frame, shorty. You got a whole frame.
Nobody interrupted you. Get your seatbelt ready. It's gonna be a long night.
Overreaction.
Yeah, no one look at you. This see, like, you can't even help it. You can't even help it. We ain't even get started yet. See, you ain't never. Just get your popcorn ready, baby. But like I was saying, right? Because we got literature. We ain't gonna just talk from just our thoughts. I hope you got some literature on your side, Miss Pearl. Pearl. I hope you got some literature, because I'm not gonna just speak from my thoughts, my opinions.
Man, just get to it, my nigga. Like, nobody gotta know your accolades, your credibility. Just say what you gotta say. I hate when bro, this is one thing I hate when people do. They always gotta qualify themselves. I hate when people do that. Just talk, man. Nobody question you about what you read, what you didn't read. Nobody gives a fuck. Actually, let's be 110% clear. We don't give a fuck. Just say what you gotta say, bro. I hate when people do that stupid shit. Yeah, bro. Like you don't know, man. I got to do all of this, because what you don't know about me is that I actually read. I do all this shit. So I'm coming from a place I don't know what you read. Just talk, man.
So what I'm saying is, I'm tired of ignorance of all races. But to hear white people go out their way to co-sign this, when most of black people's issues, whether it be the drug issue, whether it be their issues with relationships, whether it be their issues with economics, whether it be the hijacking of their arts and the hijacking of putting negative images as far as music. We don't control media. We don't control the major networks. So for anything black people to do that we do negatively to be broadcasted to the world has to be funded, co-signed, and endorsed by a European. So to hear these same people talk about the things they've done to these people, and then when they have the nerve to show the side effects of that, say, hey, I don't know what they're talking about, just shows you what we're dealing with. So black fatigue is no such thing as black fatigue. It's just the fatigue of just ignorance of American culture, and it's eroding black people because we've been attached to most of these atrocities the most. So excuse us for the fact that we don't want to talk to you like we used to. We don't want to be as gracious as we used to, because when our parents and our grandparents was going to church and saying, yes, master, yes, Paul, yeah, you would blow their heads off. There was a story of a man, and I'm gonna shut up. There's a story of a man, I forgot his name, but there was a story. I could tell you about what happened in my job today, but there was a story of a man, I think his name was Booker, I forgot his last name. This was in the 50s, not that long ago. So let's not act like history don't matter, because we celebrate 4th of July every year. We celebrate past the Civil War and 7 years ago, Ulysses Grant, all these old forefathers, we acknowledge them every year. So the history means a whole lot to this country. He worked at a restaurant for white people, and he said, hey, I try to do my best. I be nice. They call me the N-word. They talk to me crazy. I'm just trying to take care of my family. I'm trying to take care of my kids. At nighttime, I got my own restaurant, and I work it myself. So this man works for white people in the daytime in Mississippi, and at nighttime, he works at his own restaurant. So at that time, black people, we don't have, even now, but in the 50s, you think, who owns cameras? Who owns media networks? So we don't. So even the people who interviewed him was white. But guess what happened to that man? They killed him days later, just because he had the nerve to tell white people who asked him, well, how white people treat you, just for them to get killed by white people. So I don't want to hear no white person talk about black fatigue. Now, if you want to talk about the degradation of America, you want to talk about the lack of literacy in youth, you want to talk about just drugs in general, just immoral culture of Western culture, I'm all for that. But don't blame it on black people, because we're only doing what was done to us.
All right, Pearl, you want to respond real quickly?
Well, yeah, I had a question. How does this work? Am I able, when they're talking, can we go back and forth like a conversation, or that's not allowed here? I'm okay with either. I just wasn't positive.
I mean, if you want to interject and if the person allows it, then that's fine. But if they say let me finish, then just allow them to finish. Then I'll just come back to you so you can respond.
Yeah, because you was doing every person, like everybody went.
You know what I hate, bro? I hate the disdain that people give, bro. I really do. Look at some of these individuals. They're ready. They see a pasty woman up there. And listen, bro, this is not me caping for Pearl. I'm not. But I'm a person that sees things from a whole broad spectrum, not just from a race perspective, right? There's a lot of disdain in the situation. Look at how some of these black women are looking. Look at some of these niggas are ready and suited and booted to ready to go in on them. Cool. If you're ready for the debate, have the debate. That's fine. But I just don't. I see certain things, bro. I see certain things. Who said? Let's see. Matter of fact, before we go to, let's see who is CNN owned by. Let's see. No, it's not owned. It's not owned by anybody. It's a publicly owned. It's a publicly traded company. So anybody, myself included, could own a portion of CNN if we invest in it. So we can be owners of the company. It's a public traded company, so you can go into the stock market and invest your money into CNN. Now, the demographic at which who holds the most shares, that could be debated, but it's not single owned by any company, by any person. It's a publicly traded platform. Ted Turner sits on AOL. It's a public traded company with Ted Turner is the leading factor of that. I'm in Atlanta with Ted Turner, and we're seeing it. Yep. I see. Yep. I used to live out there in Atlanta too, bro. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. Facts. Of course. Yeah, you still always sitting at somebody else's table, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it always starts somewhere. Somebody got to own the building, right? Somebody got to own the building. We can do the same thing. I give you a smaller example of that. So if I were to go and purchase, let's go say I was to go purchase a unit that has 4 or 5 rooms, right? Purchase 4 or 5 rooms, and I turn it into a media company. I turn it into a media thing. I say, hey, all my content creators, if you were to rent out each and every, I got 5 rooms that are open for rent. You can rent out each and every one of these rooms. These are for media rooms. I own all the computers. I own all the technology that's in here. You can use it to create your own content without having to have your own equipment and stuff. But you got to pay me a fee every single month to do it. You got to pay me a fee every single month to do it. And so you can be, your whole thing can be one name for this room, one name for that room, one name for that room, one name for that room, and you rented it out because you own it as long as you rent it. But who owns the entire building? I do. I own the building. I mean, I own the company, but I own the building that this company operates in. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I say, yeah, but see, we're still, let's see, but what are economics from Puffy to Bill Cosby to Oprah? We shouldn't have to say that. No one else is down the table. Facts. You could create, that's what I'm saying. We can create our own table. And you could just learn from the other people that may have already been doing it. You can learn from them and go back over here and teach it to everybody else, and you create your own table. Now, that's what they can do, but we too fucking worried about what the white man doing. That's what, and my 9 times out of 10, it ain't even the white people that's owning this shit. It be the motherfuckers that's from overseas. It be the foreign motherfuckers that's owning this shit. That be the crazy part. That be the craziest part.
They turned, he went in row. We could see the panels. He went one by one. It was my turn.
Yeah. So again, I would say even in that interaction, I was very polite to you, where you automatically assumed the worst. So that kind of reiterates what I was talking about. The next argument I'm going to go through. So I'm going to,
no, but what did I assume?
I'm going to keep going. That's going to be gaslighting right there. So gaslight. Okay. Pretend you weren't doing what you did, which is totally fine. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. But
no, you can't.
Example of the black fatigue. Then you're saying you're blaming it on history. I just think goes back to white people are kind of tired of hearing excuses.
Of course you are.
Yeah. And
of course you are, but why wouldn't you be tired of it?
As an adult, you are responsible for your own behavior. So if you do something rude, or if you commit a crime, you are responsible. Nobody else is responsible for it.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. Facebook, Uber, Amazon, they don't own anything but control everything. Exactly. They do. But guess what? I'm an owner of Amazon too. I'm a partial owner of the company too. So here's my thing. I don't care about listen, I'm part of the owner. So therefore, if I wanted to participate in the decision that Amazon made, I can become a part of that. I can. I can join in on that because I am partial. I have ownership in that company. Now, of course, it means it's different, the amount of shares and different things like that. However, as long as you have shares and you continue to keep investing in that and your shares continue to go up, you got partial ownership of that company. And you can also control the decision that made. Well, help control. I'm gonna say help control. Of course, you know, the big dogs, you know, the ones who got the big share. So we do understand that does matter. That does matter. That does matter. So I'm not gonna be ignorant about that. That does matter.
But that's not a black crime. Is not a black issue.
People commit more crime in this country than black people. So let's if
I wish y'all stop using that. The reason that is because there are more white people than there are black people in the world. Well, in the United States. That's the only reason that number is higher. We got to stop using that, because the number is this. If we're 13% of the population, right? If we're 13% of the population, but commit 50% of the crimes, that's horrible, because you're a small number, but you're doing the most crimes at 50%. At a small number of percentage of black people that's in the United States of America. Versus the number of people. Let's look at the number. Let's look at that number. See now we diving in. Hey, listen, JB, I agree with you on that too. Because after we had that discussion, I do agree with you on that. Because if you're combining the mixed race too, I think that number is higher. I'm gonna be honest with you on that. I do think that too. I'm with you on that. I thought about that for a minute. I said, what's that? Are they including the people that are mixed too? Or is it just people that are just black? Because there's a lot of mixed races out here that got that black DNA in them. So I agree with you on that, bro. I agree with you on that. I'll come back to that. Fuck that. Let's let it play.
If we're gonna speak facts, let's really stop talk statistics and stop just saying out anything, because like Illa said, you're just
black men are 20
you're not really spewing out any facts.
Black men are
over 50%. No, let me speak.
Hey man, if you want to give me some insight, man, I could put the link in and you can tap in real quick and give me some insight, bro. If you want to jump in real quick. That way you can bring me on your platform, because I can share with you how TV and Turner broadcast systems were set up. Ted Turner actually investing in the whole 24-hour news. Yeah, bro. Like, hey, if you want to give me some insight on that real quick, you can. You know what I mean?
Men are 20 times more violent than white men.
That's what I'm saying. You're showing.
Hold on.
She said off the interruption. She shouldn't start interrupting people, because we wouldn't interrupt nobody. But you want to interrupt, so now you're throwing off the flow of the flow, which is what they do in real life. Go off the flow of everything.
Hold on.
She throwing up racist talking points.
Hold on. Let's just do one at a time. Okay, I got the timer. We're gonna do 3 minutes and 50-second timer. Go ahead, let Pearl finish. Getting back to Ella. Ella just remain on silent until she finishes. Go ahead, Pearl. You're on mute. Let me take you off.
Felonies. 51% of arrests for murder in 2019 were black. Black women are 7% of the population, 39% of abortions. Felony conviction rate for black individuals is 61%. Black people are 13% of the population, but are incarcerated 38% of the time. 48% of black adults are obese. 54% of black women are obese.
Here's everything you need to know about Fortnite Chapter 7. You can now revive yourself with the new self-res device, and
1 in 4 black children born in 1990 had an imprisoned parent by age 14. Yeah, so if you want facts, there are some facts. Go ahead.
I would like to know, how do you quantify black men being more violent? I think that there's statistics, but how do you go and measure that? Like, without just the numbers, how do we go through our daily lives and observing just reality that black men, just by default, just by being black, are more violent than all other males walking around? How do we quantify that?
I would say, number one, the data reflects it. And also my real lived experience. I would say that is what I have seen in real life. So
I haven't seen a black man be violent in my years of experience.
See, here we go with this. Two things can be true at the same time. Listen, I don't care, bro. We are here to hear my thoughts and opinions on this. So if I pause too much, I apologize. I'll make sure I clip the actual video here so y'all can hear it in full. All right, but there's gonna be a lot of stopping and pausing here. I want to make sure y'all get ready for this. There's gonna be a lot of stopping and pausing here, just simply because there's gonna be a lot of shit that's gonna be said here. I already know it. Every time we come about race, it's always gonna be a lot of shit that's said. So I want to make sure I want to go ahead and put that disclaimer out right now. Aisha, two things can be true at the same time. You can be a person that has never seen a black man commit any crime in your life. That can be true. We're not disclaiming that. But what also can be true is the fact that Pearl may have experienced it in her life as well and have seen it. So two things can be true at the same time. So what you may not see, she probably has. Just as me, Courtnee Edgar, I haven't experienced racism as a black man. But yet there's probably another black man who has experienced it. Two things can be true at the same fucking time. And this is coming from a guy who lives in that, who was raised in Alabama. This is coming from a guy who was raised in Alabama. So two things can be true at the same time. So the fact that you already trying to dismiss it is already proving the point. Two things can be true at the same time.
So what are we talking about?
Okay.
It's 43 million Black Americans that live here. So your statistics are flawed, like all of the rest of YT statistics.
How are they flawed?
Because statistically, Black men are not more violent than white men. It's just not a stated fact.
They're 20.
No. That's just not a stated fact.
Where are your facts?
They literally colonized an entire civilization. White men are inherently violent, right? That's why we have all of this school stuff going on. We're not doing that.
Do you feel safer in a white neighborhood or a black neighborhood?
I feel more safer in a black neighborhood.
Well,
that's why I live on property.
God help you.
Yeah, I do. I don't feel safe around white people. Like I'm scared of you right now.
Oh my God,
I'm afraid
going off the
because it's because of the white fatigue. Because, and to answer JR's question, I believe that Black fatigue is the original answer. And I believe that they try to flip it, just like they try to crowbar their way into using the N-word by trying to tell people that that's okay because they now want to say it. No, it's for us and it's by us. Y'all can't say that either. And y'all,
how's it for y'all and by y'all? Weren't they the ones who originally started calling you that shit? But then you adopted the word and started calling each other nigga. But now that they want to say it, now you're like, nah, you can't say it because we made it mean something else when actually the word nigga actually means the actual fact, the actual definition of it. So you did the same exact thing. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? See what I'm saying? See the disingenuous conversation that's being had here? Oh, you can't switch what the word Black fatigue actually means, but yet the word, the N-word has been switched to mean something else, to mean something more so as a I guess you could say as a term of endearment, I guess. What's up, my nigga? Like, what's good with you? How you feeling, big dog? I guess. So you adopted that to make it something else, to make it, I guess, more positive. Everybody does that. Everybody. They take the word and they make it mean something else. So yes, I'm not dismissing the fact that you may believe that Black fatigue is just what that word is, Black fatigue, cool. But let's not be ignorant and act as if we don't know what people are saying when they say Black fatigue. Let's be 100% clear on that. I'm not ignorant at all, bro. And nor am I gonna play that game. I think the hue of Pearl's pigmentation orientation makes her inherently more susceptible to meeting violent Black men. Remember, slavery bred championship level beings owned by whips. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I try to hijack a term that the professor wrote a book about it. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show the colonizer mindset that you guys have in your brain. It's literally disgusting. And it's sickening, right? It's like almost like a mental illness to me, because there is no way that y'all just really came in and hijacked this term in an effort to humiliate or talk down on Black people. When you pull up those statistics, do you know that Black people patent over 50,000 inventions in this country? Do you know that we built institutions? We actually built this country from scratch.
No,
when you bringing up statistics,
what institutions did you?
Let us finish talking. Our history. We know who we are, we know our history, and we know we've been here, and we still here. Like 47% of Black Americans live in the middle class. So that little small degenerate class of people that you like to brag about and y'all like to put on the forefront, we don't like them either. They get shunned by us too. So this
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Aisha. Now, stick on that point right there, because that's what we always talk about. That's what's always being shown. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad it came out of your mouth first. That's what we talk about. People in the Black community, that's what everybody talks about, the degeneracy of the Black. We don't talk about the people who are actually doing good things out here in the world. We aren't talking about them. We're not talking about them ever. The people that are living in middle class, doing their job, going to work, going to fuck home, taking care of their kids, doing what they're supposed to do, we're never talking about them. We're never talking about them. We're always talking and discussing the degenerate behavior that then makes us, as the people who are actually out here doing good and being contributing members to society, we're the ones that have to take the brunt because of the degenerate. So therefore, when we call out the degenerate behavior, like us, like I always tend to do, we get called coons. We get called, oh, you a sucker for the white man. You a nigga. No, I'm not. I'm telling you what it is. If we want to be seen in a different light, we got to talk to them degenerate motherfuckers down there. Get them the fuck out of here. You get them the fuck out of here and really start to showcase more and more of the excellence that y'all speak on that Black people are doing, and that these niggas really ain't out here like that. Then that's when the conversation shifts. But we're always talking about the degenerate Black people. And a lot of y'all display the shit. And then you get mad when people call you out on it. That's what we talk about.
Whole concept of Black fatigue doesn't really exist. Like Illa said, it doesn't exist. That's just a people fatigue.
But you can't tell people how to. You can't tell
people any of those things. So it's a given.
You can't tell people.
We live under a system of white supremacy right now. We live under a system of white supremacy. That's not going to change today. It's not going to change tomorrow. Currently in 2025, Black people live under a system of white supremacy. So to sit on this panel, Pearl, and be disingenuous and act like that doesn't exist, you lying. You lying.
Where?
Energizer's 3-in-1 Child Shield is the world's first coin lithium battery that has 3 different safety features.
That's what I want to know.
Running late?
When people say that, I'm asking them.
You can still.
I want them to show me where. I want them to go down the list and show me where. So that way I can be more informed. Because maybe I'm the one that's lost in the sauce here. Where's this white supremacy at? Where is it? Where is it that I can't walk outside of my own house and just sit out there without somebody bothering me? Show me where. Show me where I can't get in my vehicle, go buy a vehicle, go buy a house, go invest in stocks, go invest in the property. Show me where I can't do that. Show me. Show me what job that you can't get as long as you got the skills. As long as you got the skills and you're able to do the fucking job right. Show me where. Jay Bean is a Black man. He got dressed. He got a phenomenal job. So show me where Black people are under some sort of supremacy. Show me where. Show me where a Black man can't get a management position. Show me where a Black man can't become a CEO. Show me where a Black man cannot be an owner of his own business. Show me where. Do we not understand that there's a 27-year-old Black man right now who just fixed up PF Chains. Macaroni Tony doing the same goddamn thing. Macaroni Tony works at one of the biggest companies that's been around since the ages of fucking time. Show me where. There's a Black man right now. He fixed up. I forgot the actual position, but it's in the highest position. I think he's 27 years old. He fixed up PF Chains, and then then they hired him to fix up Red Lobster. That's a Black man. Show me where. Where's the supremacy at? Because if you're good at your job, you know how to do your fucking job the right way. You know how to operate. You know how to get the results. They gonna fucking hire you. Show me where. Yeah, he a CEO, exactly. What's his name? Matter of fact, let me pull up his name real quick. His name is Demola. Demola Adamalekin. Demola Adamalekin. I hope I said his name right. He's a black man. He's a CEO of Red Lobster. So show me again where's this white supremacy? Because if that's the case, if we're so oppressive, if white people are doing the supremacy shit on us, show me where there would be a black CEO. Show me. Show me exactly where this supremacy lies. So that way I know where I can avoid it.
All right. Let me go to get these other folks in before we go ahead and start this debate. Amir, I'm coming to you next with the same question. What does black fatigue mean to you?
Hold up. I'm sorry. You got Brandon Mohawk Johnson is the mayor of Chicago. If there was such white supremacy, he would have never became mayor. And people can't stand his ass. Then you got another, what is he, a mayor? Is he a mayor or the governor? The mayor or over there in Baltimore. He a black man. There's black men in Congress. If there was such supremacy, guess what? There wouldn't be no black people in there. There wouldn't even be black women in there. You wouldn't even have, since y'all want to claim Kamala Harris as a black woman, guess what? She wouldn't even be in a run. She wouldn't even be a vice president. She wouldn't even be the runner. She wouldn't even be runner-up. She wouldn't even be runner-up. Tiffany Henyard. So what are we talking about? The reason that we don't see more, and the reason we don't see more black people in Congress is because we aren't teaching them to become members of Congress. We aren't investing in these kids. We aren't actually molding these kids to get into Congress. We aren't. We're telling them to go play sports. We ain't teaching them how to become finance administrators or become lawyers, become doctors. We're not teaching them that. To become scientists. We ain't teaching them that because that shit's weird. They're nerds. They ain't cool if they do that. They gotta become an athlete or a rapper. That's what we teach them. So I don't want to hear that shit. I don't.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I just want to be honest. Like every single time that we have this type of conversation.
Exactly.
I can't speak honestly. I can't. Because every time I speak, I get told to shut up. I'm not black. I don't understand why
look at pretty.
They do the things that they do. If I speak on my observations, I'm seen as hateful. If I speak on pattern recognition, I'm seen as hateful or racist. I don't think that this is a proper panel for me to speak on those options, on those topics. I would love to, but every time that I want to bring out a problem or an issue, it turns into something that is not fruitful. And
this is,
I didn't know what the topic.
Look at the disdain on their faces. I'm sorry, y'all, for pausing. I'm sorry, I am. Look at the disdain on Bohemian face. Look at the eye rolls from Pretty. Look at the face on Aisha. Miss Pearl, I think Miss Pearl rolled her eyes too. That's the shit that we talk about. You can't even have a fucking discussion with people. People are, and this is the exact proof. AMRA, I'm just gonna say AMRA. AMRA, she is telling you exactly the experience that she's had. She's like, listen, I want to talk about it, but I can't even talk about it because I'm gonna be deemed a certain way if I say the things that I've experienced or the things that I observe or see. And these motherfuckers can't even pay attention. Just like, you know what? I'm going to take my biased thoughts and opinions. I'm going to throw them hoes by the wayside. And I'm going to actually listen and hear to what they're saying. And then if there's something that I disagree with, I can then correct and say, hey, listen, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You probably have experienced it. But I do want you to understand that there are a group of Black people that are like that. And so I see that shit too. So I want y'all to know that when y'all speak on Black fatigue, because I know what y'all mean, y'all only talking about a subgroup of Black people. Because we know that, because if you've also observed the degenerate, I'm pretty sure that you also have observed the people who are out here not doing the degenerate behavior. You know, they're contributing members to society. You've also seen that too. So that way you can actually have the conversation. But all of this shit here, all this bullshit here, that's not helping the situation. And it goes to further prove the point of what people talk about. Can't even have a fucking conversation.
It was before I came on, JR. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you can speak on it.
No, we did this last time.
Really?
We made it last time. No, I mean, we did this last time. I mean, I can't. I mean, I don't even want to speak on it because
I would like to know what would you say is one of the problems that you observe, Amira? If you're saying there's a problem.
True, you weren't here the last time, or maybe you were. We talked about it briefly, and all I did was speak about what we see. And then as soon as I spoke about things that I see, it was like one of the answers was, well, that's because white people did this, and you don't understand because they did this, and that's why Black people do this, and you can't speak on it because you're not Black, so you don't know. So I don't.
The preemptive cloak of victimhood is giving me fatigue. Like I think that's very exhausting. I'm fatigued with that.
I'm fatigued further with the attitude. You see, she's so polite. Attitude from the Black
girl. I think
she's not even giving you attitude, and Pretty can definitely give some attitude, and she ain't even giving it to you. But the fact that you're talking while they're talking, or the fact that you happen,
nigga, let her. Nigga, it's two women. Nigga, why you arguing with another woman? Let them two go the fuck at it. Stay your ass out of it, Illa.
I could kill you easily with the stats and history, because this is the thing about that's annoying me about you, because we all know that Black people have a lot of issues. We're from the hood. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I live.
Be honest about it.
Can I finish talking?
Yeah, we might have to get AMRA over here. Like, hey man, listen. You can come over here. You can talk the way that you talk. We gonna listen. We gonna let you get your shit off. Nobody's gonna attack you over here. We're gonna talk about the conversation. And if we hear something that you might say that we may need to correct, we'll say it, but we gonna make sure that we all love it over here, bro. We can have the conversation. He said she just need to go and come over here back to bar to get the stress off. The comments can chew her up. The panel will let her breathe. Exactly. We gonna let her breathe. We gonna let her get her shit off.
Please. This is you're expressing why we're upset, because the fact that you think that you're a white woman with 2 million subscribers coming to a Black channel, you think that we're supposed to bow to you as you think that you're the face of intelligence on this panel, but you're not. We're gonna let you talk, sweetheart. Just wait. So what I'm saying is, white folks, we all know Black people have a lot of issues. It's given. I grew up in the inner city. I've seen the dangers of gangs. I've seen the drama of single parent households. It's not nothing to be proud of. It's terrible. But everything has a chronological order. And one thing about being an American, America loves and values and cherishes history. This country values history. They remind you all the time about the Civil War. They remind you all the time about the Gettysburg Address. They remind you all the time about how this country was founded and how the great forefathers of the past, all cultures venerate their history. So let's not pretend that history has no place on the current time. There's a difference between making excuses and saying how things came about. You build a house, you build your foundation, then you build the walls. It's a chronological order, then you have a house. Black people in this country have been attacked when they behave their best. So for you to make claims as if our behavior is a direct correlation with how we're treated by Europeans, there's no precedence for that, because we have proof that when we did behave a certain way, when we did carry ourselves at the highest levels of civility.
Build a website you love with Wix. where your words create.
We were just not disagreed with, not ostracized, murdered. So if we were murdered when we behaved at our best, that's evidence that our behavior is not what dictates the negative response from Europeans. But you want to talk about numbers, so I'm gonna read something to you.
Hey, you gotta wrap it up. You gotta wrap it
Hold on,
up.
I just want to read this real quick, JR. These, because she loved to bring up numbers. These are stats from sexual abuse offenses. 93.5% of individuals sentenced for sexual abusers were men. 55.1% were white. 15.2% were Hispanic. 13.9% were black. 13% were Native American, and 2.8% were other races. 67% of individual cases involving production of child pornography were white. 55%. Hold on, sweetheart.
You've been talking forever.
55.6% of individual cases involving travel for prohibited sexual contact were white. 60.5% of individual cases involved in criminal abuse were Native American. 85% of individual cases involving statutory rape.
We gotta wrap it up, Ella.
I'm just saying, you get the gist of it, because I got information. I'll
just say the difference.
But it's not about being racist.
Ella.
All right,
I just say
all you can do is laugh. I ain't lying.
The difference. Yeah, see, that's again.
Pearl, 30 seconds. Pearl, 30 seconds.
White people don't get offended by laughing and smiling. That's just basic respect, decorum, politeness.
I'm not offended by it.
No, y'all definitely ain't offended when you hear
That's actually micro. That's
Hold
actually
on, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let it go. Let Pearl get up 30 seconds and then put a bowl
I think as an adult, you are responsible for your behavior. So I wouldn't blame that on history. I would blame it on your poor life choices if you're somebody that's made a poor life choice. And because I was rudely interrupted, it's okay. I did it too. The attitude. Chill out.
Hey, Ella, let her finish so we can go ahead and get the bowl. Ella, just mute up, Ella.
That's all right. He could go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Bo. And then we get Courtney in there.
Yeah. You ain't running shit.
Okay, great.
This defensive shit, and y'all are proving the fucking point, bro. Y'all are proving the fucking point. You're proving it. You're proving it. Y'all so ready to fucking attack. Y'all on the defense. Y'all ready to fucking attack. Every fucking moment. I get it. She a white woman. You got some built up aggression against white people. I get it, my nigga. You racist, my nigga. I get it. I understand it. I get it. Hold the fuck frame. Whole frame. Write down some notes if you need to, so you can get your shit off. Y'all niggas don't even know how to operate like a fucking business, bro. And I'm not talking about Lapeef. I'm talking about the other niggas who are already triggering this shit, who ready to go, who on fucking explode mode already. I ain't talking about Lapeef.
Good God. So now I forget.
Oh, let me see what Battle said real quick. So why is it that anytime we talked about social economic development, we have to go back to gains and empowerment? Exactly. Exactly. Nothing. Nowhere have we mentioned anything about the great things, the investments that they're making, the businesses that they're owning, the properties that they're investing in, the way that they're investing into their children, making sure that they're financially literate. We're not talking about any of those things in the Black community. All we're talking about is we're arguing crimes. We're arguing, you as the white people, y'all do this more crime than we do. So fucking what? By nature, nigga, that's how numbers work. The more people that there are in the world, you got more white people than there are black people. So naturally, the numbers are going to be higher. Duh. Just as if you were to go over to Japan, what does Japan predominantly have? Japanese people, correct? So therefore, if there were 70% of Japanese people that live in Japan, 20% of the black, 20% are white people, and then 10% are black people. So if you look at the numbers and the data and statistics, it's gonna who who do you think, just about based off the numbers, who do you think are going to be typically more likely to create to cause more crime? Japanese people. What are you talking about? Say, I don't think that she's Anglo-Saxon. I think we need to go back and look at the 17 Shades of Black in regards to who's man. That's a lot that we need to do research. I agree. That's what I'm saying. They got niggas too. Yeah, you feel me? They got niggas too over there, samurais and all. You feel me?
Question. Oh, how do I feel about the word black fatigue? So when I hear it,
this shit's so dumb, bro.
I just hear literally my entire existence. It's being the safe light skin that's got to hear, you ain't like them other ones. You don't speak like them other ones. You don't act like them other ones. And I'm just like, that's what I hear when I think about Black fatigue. I am tired of them.
Psst. Hampton Stone has a secret. Right now, buy a spa gift card for $150 or more.
Skating by and not taking accountability for the fact that they don't have to know anything about racism, the structure of it, how we have to live our lives going through it. They're not required to know it. So then they're like a bull in a china shop every single day, going through life, just knocking people over at free will whenever they get a chance. And not having to apologize about it, yet still playing the victim, because don't get mad because I done came in here and knocked all this shit over. You just got to deal with it. So now you got an attitude, and I'm gonna call out your attitude for something that I created. And I personally call that the white woman syndrome, where they create the problems and then cry about what they did, and the reaction to.
No, I agree. No, I agree. She's doing a lot of interrupting right now, and she knows she need the whole frame, which I already said earlier. She need the whole fucking frame. But again, we're still doing this. But again, this whole mentality of attack, instead of now Boheme, she's coming at it correctly. You know, she's chilling. And Illa was doing the same thing. But then boom, Aisha got triggered. Boom, Pretty got triggered. Then boom, Ama Ray, she expressed, you know, why she won't talk about it. So yeah, I understand that aspect of it. But do I think it's the fact of her coming because, oh, I'm a white woman, I can say what I want? I don't think that's the case, dog. Let's be real. I don't really think that's the case. I don't. And people can say I'm crazy on it. It's cool, but that's what I don't think she's coming from that place of, I think because I'm a white woman, I'm a pasty-faced woman, so I'm gonna interrupt because I can, because that's what I do. That's why she had to react. That's why she had to ask the people, oh, well, is it okay? Can I talk? Or like, can I talk and I go back and forth with them? Or do I just need to be quiet while everybody else talk? And then Lapeef said, hey, listen, if they allow you to go back and forth, you can, you know what I'm saying? Or if not, then you just gotta be quiet. She was like, I bet. But as you can see, they had it back and forth. So that's when the whole shit started.
But the internalized oppression that Black people have, they hate what they've been told to hate. They buy into the stereotypes that white people said. So that's kind of what has me tired as well. And that is what I think of when I think about Black fatigue. It is having to be responsible for someone else's creation. Like having to pay for something that someone else did, being responsible your entire existence, generation after generation. That's what I think of.
All right, go ahead, Cooley. Black fatigue, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, so I mean, one, I would say the term Black fatigue, I remember when I first heard it, this was some years ago. It is a term that was, psyoped by white conservatives, just like the word woke. Black people use that term as far as, oh, man, you woke, man. You know about history. You know about Black history. You know about these things. So
are we though?
Truthfully, if we're being honest,
are we addressing it, or are we talking about it and ain't nobody doing nothing about it? Are we addressing it, or is it when we address it we get called coons? When we address the degenerate behavior, we already addressing what's going on in our community. A white lady with no experience amongst us and just bringing stats and going on exclusively to Black panels to us about ourselves. What the MO? What you mean? What's the MO, bro? It's a y'all gotta. It ain't no MO. It's a conversation, bro. It's just as if we went into white spaces and we had a conversation about what we see about white people. There's no MO. We're having a conversation. We want to talk about it. All right, listen, bro. I'm a Black man. I can speak from it. I can speak from what I see about white people and what the things they got going on. What is she going to? Bro, the same thing that she's going to solve is the same thing that Black people going to solve. Nothing. But we talking about it. We can talk about it all day as Black people, but what are we doing? Nothing. We ain't solving shit. They ain't gonna say we. They ain't solving shit. They ain't building nothing. What are they building? Who are they giving back to? Why does it seem as if it's getting worse for a subgroup of people? So we gotta remove ourselves from that idea just because a white person steps onto the panel and she brings statistics and stats and data based off of her own experiences, and she's coming with, listen, I got lived experiences, which she said, but I also got stats to prove the shit that I see. Like I always mention basketball, like, yeah, I can give you stats all day, but from my experience as a hooper, I can also have the eye test too, so that backs my data and statistics. I see the shit. Like, this nigga's trash, even though he scored 30 points a game, but the stats don't tell the full story because I got the eye test. I see how he get his 30 points. But this other cat, he scored 20 points a game, but his stats don't show how he's getting his points, and this nigga can ball over here. You see what I'm saying? So just because it's a white woman that's on the panel having a conversation, that don't necessarily mean that she has an MO. Maybe maybe it was the peep that reached out to her and said, listen, you might get some good insight on the outside looking in, because a lot of times you get to look at things from an outside perspective and be able to give a different perspective to see different things. Sometimes it takes an outside perspective in order to understand what's really going on, because sometimes we may overlook some shit. That's just what it is, but it's a conversation. And everybody gets so triggered about the conversation. Oh, she's a pasty woman. Listen, get your guard up, gird up, my nigga. Like, man. Black fatigue is night camo cargo pants. I know it's a convo. I'm talking about the action of her going to exclusively Black panels to regurgitate the same talking points. Bro, everybody do that. Everybody do that. Cooley do the same shit. He go on the other women's panels, other people's panels, he regurgitate the same shit that he said on his own panel. Everybody do that. Everybody do it. And they reached out to her. Do you think that they reached out to her? Do you think she reached out to them? And when they had the conversation, even on the Fatty channel, do you think that she reached out to them, or do you think that they reached out to her? So she already knowing the topic that's coming at hand. So she already gonna have the stats and data ready to talk about the topic. So what do you mean? Like, what's the MO? So if somebody tell me, hey, Courtnee, look, I'm gonna bring you on my panel. This is what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about women. All right, bet. So what's the consensus of what we talking about women? Are we talking about dating? Are we talking about the way women act? Or what is it? Oh, well, we talking about the dating and how women act. I bet. So now I'm gonna give my facts, data, and statistics based off of my lived experiences. Also, I'm gonna have some stats to go with it. And then pretty much I'm probably gonna say damn near the same thing that I always say. And I got lived experiences as well as data and statistics to back it. Now, the chicks may say, "Oh, this nigga misogynistic. I can't stand his ass." Cool, because I'm a man and I'm on a panel full of women. And especially if they already know who I am and they already heard me before, they already gonna have this preconceived notion. They ready to attack at any moment I say something. That's exactly what's happening here. And this is not me defending Pearl at all. But what I'm saying, please understand, I'm not defending Pearl at all. I'm not defending anybody. I'm on the outside of this. I'm just watching as a consumer and understanding what's going on here and seeing how everybody's operating right now. Pearl's over talking a lot of people. Yep, she's definitely doing that. She's doing. She wrote out. She fixed her data statistics though from the Fatty Show though. She made sure she fixed that up. She fixed that shit. But that's the way that I'm going about it though. Pearl is a goofy. What makes her a goofy though, Renee?
Honest, the term has been psyoped by white.
And mind you, I'm not defending her. I'm just asking. I want to know: are you just saying she a goofy just because she a white woman, or do you actually have some points that can back up what you're saying by calling her goofy?
It is, and it's the far right white conservatives, if we're being truthfully honest, and they have an agenda. The agenda is what I truly think. What I truly think the agenda is. I think it's a complete psyop, because if it's a thing that black fatigue is real, white.
Yeah. What? Yeah, you're gonna make. Yeah, of course you're gonna make money too, bro. Listen, YouTube is about making money too. Like we ain't on here just to not make money. But also that don't necessarily mean that just because I may come here for money, that don't mean I'm not gonna speak on my lived experiences. I could talk about women all day. And if I know there's money there, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. But I also know that there's money there too. So yeah, I may say that I'm gonna have that conversation. Why not? Why run from it? But just because I'm there for the money, that don't necessarily mean anything. And to be quite honest with you, what money is she running to? Her page is bigger than theirs. No, YouTube ain't necessarily about grifting. There are some grifters and liars on YouTube. I 110% agree. But there's a lot of people who actually tell the truth. There's a lot of people who actually are trying to help. But a lot of y'all don't want to listen because y'all have a preconceived notion about certain people. I can sit here and say the same rhetoric that Pearl says. How many people gonna call me a coon? Considering the fact that I'm a black man. Considering the fact that I'm from the South. How many? I can say, yeah, I see a lot of degenerate behavior going on out here. But I can also, on the flip side, I see a lot of great things black people are doing. I know how to play both sides. I understand how to look at it from an outside perspective instead of looking at a person. I can't stand that person, man. So therefore, everything they say is bullshit. I got more context, but too much to type. I got you, bro. I see more people not telling the truth. I mean, I guess, well, you got to change your content then. Change up the content that you're watching.
Like fatigue is real. Puerto Rican fatigue is real.
Yep.
All the fatigues is real.
Yep.
Mexican fatigue is real. Oh, y'all niggas crossing the border? God dang, stop crossing the border. Put the borders up. Why isn't Trump saying Mexican fatigue? Right? So truthfully, I think it's a psyop, and a lot of the whites have been psyoped by, things that's being trendy on the media right now. Like they'll see a video on X and it's a black woman acting ratchet, which I don't condone this behavior. I think it's immoral. I think it makes the community look bad, right? So we have to be honest.
Did not say that earlier. Did not say that earlier. All right.
Those things too that we do see on the media, but I do think that it's a clear psyop. But
En Cox,
I'm gonna let it play out.
siempre estamos un paso adelante. Por eso el precio de tu plan no subirá por 3 años.
I talked a little too much.
Let's peel the layer back to this. Why is this happening? Why is the white community on the right? And I would say that I'm a fairly conservative guy. I voted for Trump if anyone doesn't watch my content, but I'm just being open and honest here from what I see, right? But I think it's also a side effect of white guilt. Let's speak about white guilt for a little bit. What is white guilt? White guilt is it's dumb. Like, how did this even come about? Like, white people shouldn't feel guilty for what their ancestors done in the past. There's no black guilt. Like, think about this. Like, how did a particular community, I would say, just be honest, the Jewish community, I would say more of not them. What you say? I gotta.
Yeah, that J word, just that.
Yeah. Well, we won't stick with the J word, but let's say let's give them another word. Let's just say it's APAC, Israel, those type of individuals. I think it was a psyop, and if you think about it, they truly had to psyop the whites and also psyop the blacks as well, because they wanted to seem like a victim class. So they made then the black people seem like a victim class as well. And that's what created this white guilt, right? So I think it's a side effect of white guilt, and these white people feel ashamed of, like, think about it, when these white people like are kneeling down to these black Hebrew Israelites for all of the sins that their ancestors committed. I think maybe you've seen some clips like that. It's very like stupid when you see this. It's pitiful almost. But I think that, I'll land my plane in a second. I think that the people that have the white guilt, it turned into rage. It flipped and it turned into a rage guilt. So then it went from, when they finally got the truth and the curtains was peeled back, it's like, wait, we were lied to. We don't need to feel ashamed about what our ancestors did in the past. So now they're like noticing every flaw within the black community. They're noticing it all. It's like, wait, I had to feel white guilt before, but these black people are acting wild over
there. So what he said, now hold on. You wanted to censor the J word, but you wouldn't allow to open up the platform so that everyone get a chance to sound out. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, Clem, I saw that. Yeah, when she said that, yeah, I did say that. I heard her when she said she's a grifter.
But there, what's going on? Black fatigue. So I think it's like this rage guilt that's coming out of the white community, right? Now, these are just all my thoughts on this randomly. I wasn't really prepared for this conversation, but I'll go ahead and land my plane there since the time ran out.
Yeah.
All right. Would anybody like to respond to Cooley or Pearl? Anything?
No, I would say that it's really not a social media thing. White people get fatigued from black people's behavior in real life. I could give some personal examples. For example, I was in an office. It was all white. The one black guy that worked there decided we're in a sales job. Instead of calling the customers, he was going to call fax lines. So it would register as if he was calling people, but there was no one on the other end. Hiring a black person, having them steal from me. My parents live in an all-white neighborhood. A black family moves in. There's a literal murder. Swear to God, 2 doors down from where my parents live. So, in my experience, and I think white people really, and you guys aren't going to believe this, but I don't think really white people are taught to see race or care about it or talk about it. But then I know you're not going to believe it, but I'm telling you, we don't care.
Pearl, question for you.
And then I'll finish, and then you can go. And then real life happens, and black people take advantage of white people's kindness, and then that's how we're here.
Hey, Pearl, quick question for you. Do you think that it's like black fatigue and the things that you experience? Do you think that it's something that's unique to white people? Like, do you not think that black people feel a fatigue about whites or other races and things, or do you think that is specifically unique to black people?
I think white woman fatigue is real. I'd actually agree with you on that. Like Karens, I would totally agree. God, there's a lot of people tired of Karens, but no, I would say if black people were that fatigued with white people, every time they get money, they move into our neighborhoods. So I think
it's our neighborhoods.
1 second. I think it's interesting, right? Like when we talk about black fatigue or white fatigue, whatever that means, the fact that our children in schools now have to do mass shooter drills instead of tornado drills causes me to have white fatigue.
Well, do you know the issue?
Damn, let her finish.
Well, there's a.
The entire structure of how we prep our children in schools, because the majority of them are YT people, that gives me fatigue a little bit, you know? Makes me want to like homeschool.
Okay, the issue with that
stat is that it's true. The issue with that statistic is it's true and it's riling you up and it's making you turn into a tomato.
I'm
Come on down, let me finish. Be feminine. Okay, but be
Ooh,
feminine.
that's a great point.
Let me see that femininity come out.
My God.
That's a great point.
Anyways, so the fact that we have had to hide our animals because y'all just love to screw them, right? Like bestiality, y'all take over that, right? Like y'all just be out here with the animals, okay? Like somebody needs to talk to you guys about that. The fact that you guys have had a 400+ year head start and are still the main ones on government assistance. Let's talk about West Virginia, right? And how that entire state is struggling because they were the only ones on Medicare Plus. So we're not going to sit here and act like the entire country, tax-paying citizens, parents, right?
But you do know they built it back up too, JB, and they built it back up too, though. They burnt it down, they built it back up.
Children who are going to public schools don't have white fatigue about the entire structure of our country having had to change because white people cannot seem to take advantage of this 400-year head start that you guys have been given. I would be fatigued as well. I was watching a video, my personal experience. I was watching a video the other day where there was a group of poor whites standing up, pissed off because there was an immigrant driving a Lexus. They're like, look at him driving a Lexus. He just got here 3 years ago and we were still in our hoopties. Yeah, I would be pissed off too. I would be mad that somehow I've had this much of a head start, and yet whenever you see a Black and brown person somehow catch up to you and pass you while your entire family is sharing just one set of dentures, you get pissed off. Like you get pissed off. I understand it, but I just need y'all to relax a little bit and understand that fatigue goes both ways, my love.
If we're being honest too, we have to be honest and truly honest. If we look at the Black community, one of the real problems with the Black community is the lack of fatherhood in the community. And one can only say when you're, tends to think about this, well, why don't they have any fathers in the house? If you look in the 50s, actually, there were more Black fathers in the house, where I think that it was more white fathers. I think there was more Black fathers in the household than there were more white fathers. Per capita is what I mean. So like, if you look at things, the side effects of, single mothers raising the children, we know that they lead to juvenile delinquents. They lead to a lot of gang violence and a lot of things like that. And if we look at the ideology of things, because I always like to say influence creates thinking and thinking creates behavior. So, well, what ideology did the Black woman adopt? They adopted the liberal white woman's ideology to be independent of a man. Feminism started from the liberal white woman. They want to be independent from the man. They want to be equal to the man. They want all of the same rights and opportunities as a man. So if we're being truly, truly honest here, and we're speaking about Black fatigue, the reason why y'all white people is upset is because of the ideology that the ideology that came from the white woman that the Black woman adopted. And this is why they got rid of the man and married the government and got on SNAP benefits. That's where most of the problems are coming from. So I'll land my plane there.
Good point. Good point.
My wallet.
It's gone. Not getting that back.
So I'd like to start with the school shooter stat. That's not accurate because on the south side of Chicago, the issue is the way they like capture the stats. There's a lot of school shootings that aren't included because it's like a certain number that has to die. If it's over a certain number, it's not included in the stats. If you go into the south side of Chicago, there's a lot more shootings than like at the white schools in the suburbs. Majority white, obviously there's no rule or anything. Okay, next, I don't think Black people are really aware of how unlikable and how much attitude you guys have a lot of the time. Even on this panel, pretty intellectual, pretty bad attitude. I don't really have that as much with the white women on my shows, although I am also tired of white liberal women. You have no argument with me on that, except that I still don't really like blaming a group of people's behavior on someone else. You are responsible for your own actions as an adult, but I do agree that white women are annoying. you will gaslight us and pretend that white people have the same issues, but in real life, I've lived in mostly Black communities and mostly white communities. And when I was in a white community, there's a lot of issues that I did not see that I did see when I was in a Black community. You can get mad and get angry at that, but when I was in the Black community, you know, I would see people shoplifting. I never saw that in 20 years of living in a white community. Things like that. So again, you can gaslight white people and say it doesn't exist or we're making it up. But at the end of the day, we do believe what we see with our eyes. And the other thing is, you said white women and bestiality or something with dogs. The difference is we don't get triggered. So if you say, you know, white women are weird with their dogs, I would agree. So I mean,
real quick, let me ask Pearl one question. Hey, Pearl, question for you. So do you think if, you know, where do you think like crime would happen in a rich, speaking of white people, right? A rich, like say they're making a wealthy white family. Am I muted or no?
No, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I know where you're going with this. I'm gonna just drop in one stat, but white people commit the most white collar crimes. So for her to get on this panel and say they don't steal, they steal. I work with them. They steal a lot. Okay, I've been
I would agree with you. I would agree. Why can't we have a conversation about Black crime without bringing up white people?
Yeah.
We like.
Are you serious?
I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree. But the challenge
So would that be considered white fatigue?
When you say something about white people, I would say I am fatigued with some stuff with white people. Like
no, but is white fatigue a thing?
White women transitioning their kids, that's really annoying. I'm like, why are we doing that, ladies? You know, but I'm not going to get triggered and pretend it doesn't happen. The difference is when
I will say this. I get the point that she's making, right? In regards to the trigger aspect of it, because there's a lot of facial expressions going on. Every time she talks, every time she say a stack, everybody go off the walls. And I know at this point, sometimes you got to take that with a grain of salt. You got to do your own research on that and just to get the context of that stat, right? But in this same situation, this thing is about Black fatigue, correct? Isn't this the same situation? Isn't it the same situation that happened that everybody was trying to say that Pearl brought up Black people when she didn't need to, but yet they're talking about Black fatigue and they're talking about the things white people do? Isn't that the same thing that's happening here? Isn't that the same thing that's happening here? So it's okay if y'all do it, but it's not okay if she do it. Listen, I'm just being objective here. I'm not defending anybody. I just like to look at things from an outsider perspective. I'm not on either side. I'm on the side of Courtney. That's the side I'm on. I ain't on Pearl's side. I ain't on Illa's side. I ain't on Bohem's side. I ain't on Miss Pearl's side. I ain't on AMRA's side. I ain't on Trey, Aisha, Pretty, Cooley. I'm on Courtney's side when I'm looking at this situation. So isn't that the same thing? Right? We're talking the topic is Black fatigue. But you constantly keep this, and this is the point that I'm always talking. You're talking about one thing, but you can't sit still just to hear the things that's going on, or without even trying to have this attack mode. Oh, because of things that happened to us back in the day. We do listen, bro. Listen, no, I wasn't affected by that. I'm sorry. And neither a lot of y'all Black people today. None of y'all were affected by that shit. None of y'all. You're far removed from it. Let's be 100% clear on that. You have the ability to do any and everything that you want to do out here in this world. It's on you at this point. Now, at this point, there is no more excuse. So what? We're going to go another 1,000 years and we're going to say, well, back in the 1900s, you know, when they were enslaved us, this is how this was the mindset. And so this is what trickled all the way down, all the way through generations. And now we in 3021 and we're still thinking the same fucking way. Nah, bro. Nah, I ain't going. I'm not going. Because the same black people that are out here making big money, real money, they ain't having these fucking conversations. That's for fucking sure. Unless this is how they're making their money. Other than that, they're not having these conversations. Go look at Myron Golden. Myron Golden is not having this conversation. He's a rich black man from Florida. He ain't having this conversation. That's for sure. He over there talking about sales and God. He ain't having that conversation. And he's a very successful man in his 60s. Pretty sure, especially being in Florida, I'm pretty sure he probably experienced it. Or was close enough to it to have experienced it. So I don't want to hear this shit. This is the shit I'm talking about, bro. Cool, we can have a conversation. We talking about black fatigue, what you think it is and what it looks like. I get it. Yeah, but she's also playing the defense and offense where black folks are just being defended. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She playing both sides. She playing both. She playing defense and offense. So listen, bro, you can talk about the white people. Cool. I'm going to agree with you. There are some situations where I don't agree with some white people. Yes, nigga. I'm not arguing that. Cool. Great. But let's get back to the topic. Black fatigue. Let's talk about that without y'all getting offended by it. Am I allowed to speak on it without you getting offended by it? I don't have to necessarily. Stephen A never played fucking basketball in the NBA, but yet and still he can talk about it as much as he want to. He can have a full-on conversation about it. There's many people who ain't never touched the NBA fucking court, let alone touch the basketball. Skip Bayless. He probably touched the basketball, but not after high school, freshman year, some shit like that. But talk about the sport as if he been playing that shit all his life. So you telling me a white woman can't go talk about that same experiences, the things that she see in the black community, the things that she observed? You telling me that she can't do that? You telling me as a man, because I'm not a woman, I can't look at the behaviors and the things that women do, or the women that I see out here operating, so I can't speak on women? That's what you telling me? Or you can't tell me that the things that certain women experience about men, that you telling me that women can't speak on men? That's what y'all telling me? That's what y'all telling me, right? That's what I'm hearing. Maybe I'm hearing. Maybe my ears fucked up. Yeah, but she's also playing defense. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to understand.
Hey, stat that's negative about black people. You guys gaslight me and pretend it's not real.
We're not gaslighting.
We didn't deny none of it. But go ahead, Cooley.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question because I just
experience, like I said, and it's 43 million of us. So it just sounds disingenuous and illiterate. It doesn't sound smart for you to say the 20 black people I've encountered, I've had these experiences, because I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. And I can tell you my credentials. I've interviewed and no white people.
Cool. Let's go and let
I mean, if we're being honest, we got to be honest about black people too. The thing is, the black community, we've been hearing it. Like, I've been hearing black people need to get themselves together and pull themselves up by their bootstraps since I was a youngin.
I've been
So
hearing
we've
that
always
shit too.
heard this from white people. It's nothing new to us, but I do think that black people.
A woman and her guide dog visit the beach.
And guess what? It ain't
Any gift
changing.
you make to guide dogs for the blind will be met.
There are a lot of effeminate people in black culture, and we need to get away with that. We need a patriarch in the home. But the question that I was posing to you, because I just want to get to your thinking. So if there's a wealthy, where do you think more crime would happen? In a wealthy white neighborhood or in like a trailer park white neighborhood?
Trailer park.
Where do you think more crime would happen?
Probably in the trailer park neighborhood.
In a trailer park, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you're speaking about, now let's go to black people. If you looking at a wealthy black family or the hood black family, where do you think more crime would happen?
In the
you know what? It would probably be in the hood, but from my personal experience, even when black people move into white neighborhoods,
We just terrible.
a lot of time. No, I'm being for real. You know,
I don't know, girl. Nah, Pearl. Nah, G. Nah, Pearl. I can't let you do that, big dog. I can't let you do that. In distinguished neighborhoods, in distinguished black neighborhoods, there ain't a lot of that going on. You gotta be, if you're gonna be honest and genuine about it, you gotta be. There's not a lot in the distinguished black neighborhoods. There's not a lot of that going on, and that's in every race. That's every fucking race. Where there's a situation where you got when there's a situation like that where you have a neighborhood where you got prominent black people, the creme de la creme, that shit ain't happening over there, bro. It's not happening over there. Now there may be some white collar crimes, that's different. But we talk about crimes, white collar crimes. When people think about crime, we ain't talking about white collar crimes. Ain't nobody talking. They talking about thievery, burglary, breaking and entering, DV, unaliving folks. That's typically what they talking about. Gang violence, shit like that. That ain't happening in those neighborhoods. Nah, nah, bro, I can't let you do that one. Nah, shorty. Nah. See, she can't pedal back because she knows what she's doing. You can't do that.
Pearl, to answer the question, you would say that you would see a difference there. So since there's a difference between white wealth and white poverty and the crime rate would be higher within the white poverty, and it would be the same within the black wealthy class and the black poor class. You would see more crime where there's less income. This is true. So if we just take that into account, well, yeah, why it isn't a race factor. It's more to it. It's more of a community, education, family, a nuclear family. So there's more factors.
Economic factor, bro.
Just the color, black fatigue. There's more factors into it.
So you can.
Okay, are you saying?
Okay,
then there's an ethnicity thing that's unique to black people.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. And this is just my personal experience.
Got it. So then it's just unique to black people. That's what I wanted to know. You want to get to the ideology of people.
Just let her respond, and then we'll get Ms. Pearl.
All I can, you can, slice the numbers to say whatever you want in some cases. But there's just a lack of basic decorum that even when black people come into white spaces, a lot of times they lack. As I said earlier, it's an attitude thing, a lack of work ethic thing. It's not all, because again, I've met black people that don't do this. It's not every single one. But just as a group, balance of probabilities, you're going to get more of an attitude, lack of good faith, more emotional is just the trends that I've noticed, even on this panel. But not you, Cooley. You've been great. So
go ahead, Ms. Pearl. Of course.
On the outside looking in, I don't defend nobody. I defend Courtney. Pearl, you bugging on that one. You bugging. Okay, so here's where you were wrong at. You were wrong on the aspect of trying to manipulate that, because when he pinned you to a corner. Yeah, typically happen when you got prominent black communities. There's no crime. There's no real crime happening there. Just as the white community, just as the Asian community, just as the Hispanic community, all of that, right? But when it becomes an economic situation, the poverty level is stricken, it becomes a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. Let them talk long. Yeah, let them talk long enough. That's a fact. Let them talk long enough. That's it. But I don't disagree. When she just said that Cooley has been the one that was cool, coming. Miss Pearl was cool. True was cool. And both, I'll be honest, the one that I haven't seen, and I may have missed it. True was cool. AMRA was cool. Lapeef was cool, of course. He had to be cool. And Miss Pearl. Those were the four that I didn't see have a reaction in regards to anything Pearl was saying. Now, that doesn't mean that they agree or disagree. It just means that they are able just to be there, have the kind. I think AMRA, she made some kind of faces too when they started talking about, when they got offended about the black shit. So I think AMRA. So I'm gonna take AMRA out of that. So True, Miss Pearl and Lapeef, of course, and of course, Cooley, they were chill. You know, they were level grounded, and they're just having a conversation. They're not getting all out of pocket and rolling their eyes and shit, ready to pop the fuck off. So I can give credence in that. So, but she just said, just like on the panel, you know what I'm saying? And Cooley was pretty much real cool about it and just having a conversation. When she get off the regurgitated talking point she have, you really see how she thinks.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So there was a lot that was said. I want to make us aware that when we're talking about media and what we're seeing, our stats, where we're getting our information, your statistics are from the FBI and the Bureau of Justice. Okay, what I basically want to say is those people have been and will always be against Black people. Always going to perpetuate a fraud. Always going to convey things that are not all the way real. I could go on there and speak about stats, and I think you're heavier on stats, Pearl, but you've been on another platform what's already kind of been exposed that you've publicly stated that statistics are not always factual. So I know that you kind of lead with that, but you can give misleading information. You can give information that has been delivered to you.
I can explain that.
Let him talk. Damn.
I know you mentioned earlier you didn't know what
I
makes
can
expression.
You're getting a little triggered.
Now, like you're interrupting. It's very subtle, but it's very intentional. It's a slight and it's an insult. Like you won't let me finish this if you're trying to epistemically take my knowledge away or my stance in terms of like you just might like you said, I should just camera down right now. That's insulting if I'm speaking to you.
Oh, don't do that. Don't make it a race thing. Just say, listen, just in good faith conversation. That's where we always go off the rails. That's where I gotta go back. No, yeah, she was getting triggered for sure. Now, that's not her in regards to the white person. That may just be her personality. Pretty did it. When Pearl started talking, Pretty went off camera. Aisha went off camera when people are talking. So you can't necessarily do that. Because if you're gonna hold Pearl accountable, you gotta hold Pretty accountable because Pretty did the same damn thing. So see what I'm saying? This is why I don't pick sides. I pick the side of Courtney. This is why I pick the side of Courtney.
That's as if you're turning your back to me. But I'll continue. I'll speak to people who are relevant to the conversation and who are actually listening and want to add value to our community and our culture and help us evolve. See, I was just playing a little bit, but I'm gonna take the gloves off. So when she was speaking about Blacks taking advantage of white people's kindness, she said that once. And she also said that we take advantage. Hey, how you doing? You take advantage of white people's nature. I don't understand how you could speak about white people's nature here in the U.S., those same people who continuously oppress us under colonialism, patriarchy, and capitalism, which can't literally operate those three motors without sexism and racism of some form. So I don't understand why or how you think we would be taking advantage of a person's nature who are literally oppressing, suppressing, and depressing us. That's why we're having this issue and this conversation about Black fatigue. It's something that white supremacy has created. And until you acknowledge that and culturally justify why you won't let us.
Fortnite Chapter 7 is a vibe. I think there's something unique about this chapter that we haven't seen in Fortnite.
Have our way and be alone and do, because in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we were fine in 1921. We were also good in the 60s too. We were good before you guys came and stopped our movement for human rights and started the feminine movement. We were always fine. We don't need you all. But when you speak like this, it speaks as if you come from a place of white ignorance and white avoidance. It's like you pretend you don't know these issues exist, and then you don't want to talk about them. You kind of do both of those. So before you kind of interrupted me, I was speaking about like our media representation, which we know is one-sided, and that's evolving around artificial whiteness. It's the ideology that's embedded in the concepts of like AI and where you get your statistics, the media, and what we're talking about right now it mimics the logic of white supremacy, and it's very Eurocentric and masculinist. But I get it. That's where you get your information from. But again, it's one-sided. Doesn't add value to this conversation. But I'll let my plane because I know real people understand.
Let me ask her a question to test her logic. If you mind yielding the floor to me, Pearl, I would just want to test her logic.
No, I was going to respond to her.
Okay, sure. Go ahead. Because I just want to test the logic. It sounded nonsensical, but go ahead.
No, so the reason I know she said that I forgot what she said about the facts, data, and statistics, but my opinion on facts, data, and statistics is they can be helpful. However, you do need to take them with a grain of salt because you will be easily
which is what I said. You take them with a grain of salt.
Manipulated. If anybody can put a study in front of you, and
she also, I'll listen, bro. I've also heard her say in her stats too. You got to do your. I've heard her say you also, when I give out stats, you also got to do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. So she also says that too in her points. Now, is she a terrible debater? 100%. Terrible at debating. But I've also heard her say I watched a lot of her content too. So we got to be honest about that too. She said it. I even said, listen, when she give out stats, you got to take it with a grain of salt.
You automatically believe the study. So that's my opinion on it. I think I've interviewed 1,000 people, and I found that what you see in real life with your eyes is the most accurate. So you can take that or leave it. I understand other people have different opinions. And that kind of goes back to the good nature. Again, you can say white people, you have nothing to complain about. Black people don't take advantage of your good nature. But if enough white people have that same experience, which a lot of us have had, you can't gaslight us into not feeling it. Like, for example, I hired somebody and I got a camera stolen from me. Hired a black person, hired another black person. They said I had a colonial mindset. And basically called me a racist at the time, even though I doubled their subscribers. And it's like, we offer opportunity after opportunity, and it's not all. Some of my best employees have also been black, but I just haven't had the same experience. And me personally, I've interviewed 1,000 people across countries, and I've also hired every single race. There's no race I haven't hired. So there's patterns and things that you have when dealing with black people that you don't with other races. And, you can pretend it's not real, but our real life experience is gonna keep fatiguing. So
you've spoken on nothing but your personal experience this entire time.
Yeah,
yourself.
Facts. And we don't talk about personal experiences on this panel.
Yeah, I do want to get True in there. Go ahead, True. And I don't think what Cooley wanted to ask.
Yeah, I don't think that it's fair, Pearl, that you make it seem like a person's response has to coincide with what is palatable for certain demographics. If somebody responds with passion, that's their right. If they're not throwing hands or maybe trying to be overly offensive, in my opinion, I don't think that's an issue. Because you compared a lot of times that as a white woman, you're not triggered. Well, that's your personal choice. If someone gets triggered by something that is being presented to them, I think they have the room for that. When they start getting disrespectful, then that's different. But your comparisons to me are very bleak. People typically focus on very limited experiences and then expound upon it and make it conclusional. And I don't think that that's fair. White people don't spend enough time around black people to, in my opinion, gather the real life experience that is the vast majority. So if you have one isolated incident or maybe even a dozen, and then you compare it to how old that person is, all these other variables.
So hold up. See, this is the problem that I have. This is the problem that I have when it comes to this conversation. So if it's a black person that says the same exact thing, so then what? What excuse do you have now? That's a question I want to know. So if a black person comes out and says the same thing, listen, bro, this is what I see. Then what? Then what's the argument now? What's the argument? What's the argument? And again, I'm standing on the outside of this. What's the argument? I'm trying to see both points. Because yes, Pearl, you can't come from just a personal standpoint. You got to speak on it from an objective standpoint. You got to speak on a broad, because we already know all black people aren't like that, right? We know this. So maybe the type of people that you hire, maybe you didn't vet them properly. You didn't vet the people, the black people that you hired. You didn't vet them properly. So therefore, or the type of dudes that you were dealing with, you didn't vet them properly. And so then you got the result that you got. But then on the flip side of that, you also can't dismiss the experience. You can't dismiss the experience as well as the stats to back the experience. So if a black person says the same exact thing that Pearl says, nobody ever heard Pearl say anything that she said, but a black person says it, then what does that make that black person? What is it then? What's the argument then? That's what I want to know. What would then be the argument? Because I've heard many black people say, listen, bro, I can't be in the crowd of too many black people. I heard black people say the shit. I can't be in the crowd of too many black people, bro. I can't. Hey, man, listen. I can't. But then there are other instances where it's like, hey, man, when you're around this certain dude, when you're around this certain group, nigga, this shit crazy, man. Everything's elegant, luxury, everything's on point. Ain't no problems going on. You can just enjoy your time. How often do you see that though? Like, I don't know, bro.
That's what we're trying to get you to understand. You, in my opinion, you can't form a hard conclusion. And I think that sometimes maybe people like yourself, maybe people that belong to, your class per se, they typically try to focus on what they believe to be behavior, and then not having the skill set, in my also opinion, to be able to engage and dismantle some of these interactions. What I've noticed is that there's petty crime and then there's organized crime. White people typically are organized with their crime. They will set up contracts. They will set up whole agendas to thieve from talent and from individuals, and then make it seem like it's okay because that individual, those group of people may not be privy to how things truly work. So I think that the fact that you make it seem like, oh, well, we're not that bad. It's not a bad or a good. I think people need to grow up. I think people need to be better.
Wix, one platform, any website, unlimited creation.
But you can't say one is better or worse, in my opinion. And I think that's the issue that I'm having, because I see white people have attitude and I see some that are pleasant. I see some that are thieves. I see some that are not. It's, this is a human type of situation. I think Cooley tried to set that up. It's like, please explain to us in your experience where you see this happening on a regular basis. And I asked you a question: how do you quantify a black man being more violent? You would have to start at the inception of every male born and then track their life. Because I can tell you, being a brother, most brothers are not violent. Most brothers can't even fight. Most men can't fight. They don't even, own the.
Oh, just because some niggas can't fight don't mean that these niggas ain't out here fighting. Let's be clear about that too.
Copyright of martial arts being something that is a discipline, but also is tied to knowing how to strike and knowing how to defend oneself.
That has nothing to do with fighting. Just because you don't know martial arts and learn how to strike, that don't mean niggas ain't out here fighting when they can't fight. Come on, bro. Come on, fam. I see where you're going with it, though. But no, that was a horrible point.
For you to make blatant statements, I think is very disingenuous. I would like to have a conversation where we can hopefully grow and learn some stuff, but the attacks are not necessary, in my opinion. And I land.
Okay, so can I respond? Cool. All right. So again, Black people do have the right to be passionate when they talk, but we also have the right to be fatigued. So it can be very fatiguing when, it's a little bit rude. Just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. Black people do commit more crimes. I think it's very obvious with the crime rate. The fact that you're kind of uneasy generally when you're in a Black area. You're much more likely to have someone commit a crime. And a third of Black men have felonies. So, I mean, I don't even know why we're arguing that point. Like, it's very obvious that Black people commit more violent crime. Like, I'm not going to gaslight you about the liberal white women. Like, can't we just be real here for like 2 seconds?
If you add in per capita, we can have an honest conversation. If you add in per capita, we
fine. Say per capita. Fine.
You did not, but you said commit per
I know, but see, that's bad faith.
Fundamentally do not. That would not be the case.
It's like it never ends.
You continue to speak on your personal experience. You continue to center yourself. You spoke about employing Black people. The majority of white people in America are laborers. They do not employ anybody. They are employed. So therefore, you speaking about your experience as an employer is quite literally antidotal to you and the minority. The majority of people are not out here hiring people. So
that's not true, though. That's not what I said.
And another thing that I know about you, like your third generation, like your family is wealthy. So you do not have any experience with, I was in a white neighborhood and the Black people moved in. You didn't talk to the Black people, sweetie. You did not talk to the Black people. You were not around the Black people.
Oh, that's
you are making it up.
Okay.
That's why it's hard to listen to you, because I would like you to say something that's founded in fact and not just your feelings. I do understand like you want to embody the ideology of a feminine woman, but please try to practice some stoicism and speak on some kind of facts. Like use some numbers. You threw out a bunch of statistics from the FBI, then turned around and said, I don't trust statistics, and then spoke specifically about your experience as soon as your statistics from the FBI was debunked. So like what we're seeing here is that you're pivoting and you're continuously trying to do this to move us from the point of the argument. But the point of the argument is Black fatigue based in something more than just pearly things experience.
Well, it wouldn't just be my experience, because there's a ton of people online talking about theirs too. Ton of white people are talking about their experience with Black people. This is not just me. I don't really understand that.
But Pearl, real quick, by that logic, we have to say that there's a ton of Black people speaking about all the systematic oppression and everything from white people.
I gotta finish Cooley.
Just logic.
But you just interrupted everybody on the panel, though.
Because everyone's talking to me. So
we're talking about a topic.
Hold on, y'all.
That's fair. Yeah, let her land her plane. That's my mistake. Go ahead, Pearl.
See, God, I see. I kind of forgot. So this is why I try to get going. But wait, hold on. I forgot what you said. Sorry. Please. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm gonna
go ahead and switch it up a little bit. How much of today's behavior comes from history, like slavery and Jim Crow?
Yeah. So I would say this, Courtney. You see how pretty taking up for Black men when they white lady talking, and like talking to us, but it's different when amongst ourselves. It's different. Yeah, it's different. That's why I don't like that. I don't like that type of behavior. I need you to do that. I need you to be like that across the board. Yeah, I don't like that. You want to take up for Black men when it's outside the race, but when it's inside, you're gonna talk all kind of shit going at men, going at niggas like crazy. Like, bro, that's wild. Like, do the same, have that same energy when it's all Black people. Have that same fucking energy.
So, you mind if I speak on this a little bit real quick? Because I was going to ask a question to Miss Pearl and then also Pearl, because Pearl says something like, well, I see a lot of things on social media and a lot of whites are complaining. If using that logic, you would have to be logically consistent and say, well, since Black people are always speaking about, the past history of, white people enslaving us and Jim Crow and everything like that, then that must have some legitimacy to it as well.
Hi, Melanie. Hi, Mrs. Winchester.
Right.
But here's the bigger thing though. Yes, it has legitimacy. But to go back to Illa's point, America loves history, right? America loves they are founded upon its history, right? Solid point, great point. But how far back does your history go? in regards to your life and your experiences. How far back does it go? Meaning, does what happened back then affect me in any kind of way? In 2025, what happened back in 1940? Did it affect me in any kind of way? I'm going to say no. How did it not? How? Most people say, well, what makes you think it didn't affect you? Well, here's why. Every failure that I've had in my life or situation that has happened to me that wasn't ideal, it wasn't because of a white man or supremacy or oppression. It was my own doing. It was because of me. There were things that I could have done better, or there were things that I didn't do that I should have done. The successes that I've had in my life wasn't due to a white man. It was due to my efforts, my wherewithal, my ability to be resilient, my ability to take the risk and just go for it and do the shit and understand that the work that's gonna come with it and grind it out and work hard and build a craft. And it had nothing to do with a white man. It didn't have nothing to do with a white man. Like everybody tries to say. Yes, there's a lot of things that have happened in our past. That is not, we talk about that constantly. At what point are we gonna say, yep, this happened? Yep, this happened this happened in our past. This happened, we understand it. Now, where do we go from here? Last thing I checked, there's a saying that we hear it a lot of times in sports. Listen, you gotta have, well, what is it? I'm kind of paraphrasing here. It's the phrase of having amnesia. Like, listen, bro, you gotta have amnesia when it comes to sports. So if you're a quarterback, I played quarterback in high school. Coach will tell you, listen, you can't worry about the last play. You gotta focus on this play. Cool, you threw an interception on the last play. Cool, bet. You still got more game to play. You can't keep focusing on that interception. Because you're not gonna be focused on the right now. And that's the problem. That's the problem with the black community now. This is why it's always an issue when we having these conversations with white people. Y'all always want to go back to what happened back then. Yes, we know this, bro. If you know even the smidget of your history, we understand. We understand things happened back then. I'm not ignorant to it. But I can't continue to keep reverting back to it every time we're having a conversation about black people, what black people are doing, or a white person says something about what the black community is doing. Listen, my G, if it's not applied to you, if you're not a part of that black fatigue that they're talking about, bro, move the fuck on. Now, oh, well, shit, listen. I'm being on the panel like, hey, listen, Pearl, I hear you. That's a certain demographic of black people. I've never, and I would be the main one to say, listen, that ain't my personal experience because I've never been arrested. I've never been to jail. I don't have any felony charges. I'm a contributing member of society. I'm building my own platform. I got a 9-to-5 job that I'm working in. I'm investing my money in. I'm doing all of this. So I'm not a part of that community that you're speaking about. I'm not. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people on there are not a part of that too. But then there are some people who are a part of that community, and they might be triggered, or they know somebody that's a part of that community. It be what it is. It is what it is. But we can't continue to keep going back. Every time we have this black conversation, we can't keep talking about what the white man has did to us and this systematic oppression. People oppressing, nigga, you ain't fucking oppressed, bro. Shut that shit down. Shut it up. I'm done. I'm done with that shit. I'm tired of that conversation. Now I'm having the conversation because I think it's profound. I think we need to have the conversation in order for a solution. And I'm giving the solution right here. Stop fucking talking about it. Have a different conversation. If you're gonna talk about it, talk about what we can do now. Talk about how you can remove yourself from that. Actually dive into the question like, okay, because I haven't heard nobody ask the question yet. How the fuck are we suppressed? How the fuck are we oppressed? How? Where? And I said this earlier. How? Maybe I'm the ignorant one. Maybe I am. And I'm fine with it. Maybe you know what? I'm okay. If I'm the ignorant one, I'm okay with that, because that lets me know I'm not thinking about what the fuck happened 400, 500 years ago. I'm focused on the right now, and I'm focusing on the future and where I'm going. And so when we making bread and we making dough out here, and then when my earn not giving community and the banter and barter show, when they out here getting bread from all of this money that we gonna be making, then hey, can't say shit to me, like, because that's what we focused on. Because we ain't gonna be having that type of conversation. Our conversation is gonna be, hey fam, how can we get to a bigger bag? How can we exponentially grow this platform? How can we exponentially grow Banter and Barter Show? How can we leverage Courtnee Edgar Show to build up the platform? How can we do that? That's what we're gonna be focused on. How we gonna help our kids out? Because we're in a tight-knit community. Listen, bro, this is how we can help our children make sure that they're straight when they get older. Making sure that they're straight. Practicing group economics. We're going to be doing all of that. That's what we focus on. Like, I'm tired of having that. Like, bro, this conversation, that conversation gets old. These so-called woke ass niggas, these niggas, man, I'm trying to validate your credit. Cool, bro. You read. Do your thing. Great. How has that translated into your life? What has that done for you? Has that gotten you a bigger bag? Because yes, at the end of the day, has that gotten you closer to God? Has it? No. It ain't gotten you closer to God. Okay, so it just you got your knowledge now. Okay, now what? You still doing the same shit that you've been doing? Nothing. You can read all day, but if you ain't applying the shit, it don't matter. Cool, you know your history. Whoop-de-fucking do. How does it translate? That's the shit that I'm talking about. That's a fact, J Ben. That's a fact. The only thing oppressing is the reflection in the mirror. That's it. You gotta wake up every goddamn day by your fucking self to get up and go make shit happen. Ain't no white man tying you down and holding you down. You choose and decide what you're gonna do for the day. I could have chosen not to do a live stream today because I got some other shit planned today. I could have chosen not to do it. But I know I said I'm going to continue to keep showing up every Saturday. And I know Monday, guess what? I'm going to fucking show up at work like I'm so fucking supposed to. And guess what? When I get paid, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to have money going into my investments account because I choose to do that. Ain't nobody holding me down from doing that shit. And we're going to continue to keep running up the bag. We're going to continue to keep growing this platform. We're going to continue to keep growing the people around us. We're going to continue to keep building and keep growing, man. Fuck this shit that they talking about. Because at the end of the day, Pearl going to be Pearl. Everybody else going to be everybody else. We already know YouTube at the end of the day, people on there. Listen, she breaking into a different space. People reaching out to it because they know, I'm sorry to say it, but because they got her on the platform, they're gonna get more visibility. And they're gonna tap into a new audience from Pearl's side and on vice versa. That's what's gonna happen. That's the name of the game. And so the only thing that's gonna happen here is you gonna expose yourself, and that can go on both sides. That can be Pearl exposes herself more and more, or that means the black community people that they talk about with the black fatigue shit, you expose yourself even more. That's what's gonna happen. That's exactly what the fuck is gonna happen. Because this shit can be recorded, it's gonna be reacted to, and it's gonna stay on the platforms. Because I'm not deleting my video, so you gonna see this shit. And you can disagree with me, that's cool. I welcome the disagreements. That's fine. That makes for great conversation. But I said what I said. I'm on the side of Courtney. I ain't on the side of Pearl. I ain't on the side of anybody else on that panel. I'm on the side of me. And that's how I perceive it. That's how I look at everything. That's how I looked at it, this entire reaction. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. He asking me to change my ways. Facts. I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. I'm gonna make a difference. I'm gonna make it right. Ah, shit, bro. All right, but that was solid, man. Today was good, bro. Today was good. These days, I haven't done a daytime live stream in so long. And last time I did a daytime live stream that wasn't pre-recorded, man, it was when I first started. That was when I only had 10 fucking subscribers. That's crazy. That's crazy. When I only had 10 subscribers, bro, that shit was wild. You hear me? That shit was wild. Hey, fam, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Y'all rocking with the daytime, or should I keep it at nighttime? Y'all rocking with the daytime? I might do a little bit more of the daytime live streams. I'll see. I kind of like it. We'll see though. We'll see. But hey, man, today was dope. Today was fire. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with your boy. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm pretty sure a lot of people gonna be in here calling me coons in the comments. That's fine. I ain't tripping on it. I am not tripping on it. Y'all will be all right. Catching and see this while I was grinding on the day. Day shift on the weekend is fire. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So if you want to tap in and you want to show love to the platform, you definitely can do so. You can do so through the Cash App, or you can tap into the Super Chat, whichever one. It is what it is. I'm not expecting it. I definitely appreciate it though, because it helps with the platform, help me grow, help me build, invest in different things. So that way I can continue to keep bringing y'all good, dope, solid content. All right. So you said I'm simply because I'm at work. Hey, I feel it, bro. Hey, it helps the day go by. It helps the day go by, bro. We 3 hours and 35 minutes in, that's for sure. But yeah, man. Hey, listen, I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all day. It's time for me to go get myself together and go rock out and do the things I need to get taken care of. All right. So until next time, my good people, I'll holla.